All right. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to another Smudcast. We are going to be doing something a little different today. This is a recommendation. I can't remember from who. I don't recall all the people who give recommendations, but this is certainly on the one of the level of non-gaming, non-media related, and more in the way of, politics, justice, something.
Or insanity.
Well, with TEDx, we thought that was the weirdest part. Then we have actual TED Talks, and I don't know how this person got involved, aside from being a scholar and a lawyer. So she has some credentials. She's obviously not stupid, but trying to wrap your brain around legalizing rights for inanimate objects like water is a little complicated, a little strange, a little weird. So we thought we'd delve into reason and logic and legal issues just to see how it is. Not to say we're experts on these fields, of course not. We're not lawyers. But it's basic stuff of understanding how and why the law is applied to civilization and not specifically to inanimate objects or resources or what have you, whatever you want to characterize them as. So I guess it's more of a water conservationist opinion than it is a climate change thing or a legal thing. It's just part of this weird Native American philosophy this person has, and she feels that we should protect our sources of water a lot better. I think most people would agree that we want our resources to be protected and safe and allowable.
Aren't they already protected and safe? Like you can't do certain things to rivers already, and you can't do certain things to lakes. You can't pollute them. You can't block them. You can't dam certain ones because they're important to something and that and the other.
Apparently, that's not enough for some people, and that's fine. I'm not against more restrictions, more legalization to make sure what's really important, like water and power and all these other necessities, are maintained and preserved.
It was enough to fuck up Trump's wall plan because there was a river directly in a place where he was trying to build a wall, and he couldn't build up. Part of the wall can't be built there because it would fuck with the water, and there's some kind of reserves place you can't build on.
Right. So it depends on how we classify legal powers towards inanimate objects. Anyway, welcome, LiteratureDevil. How's it going? Glad to see you here.
Pretty good.
This is a fun one because I think this more closely relates to American law as opposed to Canadian law. So there might...
and neither of us being Americans.
Yeah.
You give us an American card. It's like the N-word card.
Obviously, this is going to be covering superior law because Americans just took the law from Britain and just made it better. As they tend to do.
That's right. Yeah, they took all the laws and just made them their own. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Glib, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, how's it going?
So this is going to be I would say not a cakewalk, but just sort of like a drunken backwards hopscotch. What would you call this? I don't know. This is strange, and it's a lot different than what we usually do, but we can still apply logic and reason.
Water lives matter.
Yeah, something like that. It's going to be this weird argument. So hope you're all ready, because I certainly am not. So let's get going.
And this is an actual TED Talk.
This is the actual TED channel, not
real
TEDx.
TED Talk, not a TEDx talk.
Yeah.
Akwe Wanikasek, Kelsey Leonard Nuisawonk. Hello, good day, everyone. I'm from the Shinnecock Nation. Tabutni to the Kauai peoples whose land we gather on today. I was taught that water is alive. It can hear. It holds memories.
No, I don't think it does.
And so I brought a water vessel up with me today.
Okay.
We got it wrong.
Okay, we need a scientist here. Okay, Mr. Scientist, does water have brain cells? No, they do not. So it doesn't have memory? No, it doesn't. Can water hear? No, it doesn't have ears. Right, I think we've cleared that up.
Yes, but we could be talking about her religious beliefs, which are protected under the First Amendment. So you can say these things, even though they're wrong and not possible to.
Scientifically inaccurate.
Right. But you can have these beliefs. The problem is she wants to apply those beliefs to law.
Yeah, but law and religion are very separate things and should stay separate.
Right.
That's why we have a
Because I want
separation of church and state.
Yes.
to hold the memories of our conversation today.
No.
Who gets legal rights?
People.
History.
Yeah. Part of a civilization that has a judicial system, it would be the individuals. That's it. Just the individuals.
Yeah, I have a question for this lady. Can we drink water? Are we allowed to do that if it's alive? Does that technically count as cannibalism?
This raises. I'm sure there's a spare category for giving water rights that would not be the same as giving individuals rights. There'd have to be a distinction. I just don't know what that is. You can't just give inanimate objects rights and go, "Yep, they're people now." It's like it doesn't work that way.
You see, my little action figure here of Captain Rex, I think he deserves rights. He has ears, he has memories, he remembers things, and if you ever watch Toy Story, that means they're alive, so therefore he has rights.
Okay. Here's John Lemley. As an actual Native American, I can already tell she's making things up. Okay. Maybe there is some Native American mysticism about the
I know
air.
there are like different Native American beliefs and different based on tribes and stuff. And she is talking about also like a specific tribe of Native Americans.
I'm not familiar with the tribes of California, so I don't know. But I'm sure it's a common element in mysticism that the world is alive, whether it's the wind or the water or the sky or what have you. It's like, okay, fine.
I didn't even notice the title of the video. Why lakes and rivers should have the same rights as humans.
Yes, now you're getting it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have enough alcohol for this.
No. I wish this flask of water I have was just a flask of vodka.
Vodka.
So also water isn't wet. Yeah, here we go. Let's not get into that.
I agree.
Water isn't
And
wet.
occasionally, water is triumphant.
Occasionally triumphant.
Oh dear.
He has shown us some people, but not others. In the United States, indigenous peoples like myself were
How
not
did this make it on
citizens
TED
under
Talk?
the law.
How is this a TED Talk? Not a TEDx talk.
Well, it's TED Women, so
Oh, okay then.
yeah, I don't know. Like recorded at TED Women. I don't know what TED Women does differently, but apparently they get women.
Apparently
Who,
they prove psychos and stuff. What proof talks about how rivers and lakes should have rights.
Please tell me TEDx is just their attempt at doing. That's what TED Women is just their attempt at doing TEDx, and not an actual official TED. Like it's another off-brand like TEDx.
I hope so. It's like they can shove off some crazy over here. And we have TEDx for some crazy, and then we have this one over here for some more crazy, and we could leave the actual TED Talks.
It should be
leave
called
the TED Talks alone.
It should be called TED Women and TED Children too.
It's kind of how they made the Legend of Korra, so that the weirdos can have a franchise through and hopefully leave Last Airbender alone. It's not working that way, but I think that might have been the intent a little bit. Just a little bit. I want to hear her argument on how lakes and rivers should have rights like the Second Amendment. Can lakes and rivers go in and buy guns? They should have access to guns.
Yes, right? Yes, just pour guns into lakes and rivers.
First Amendment. You can't arrest a river anymore. Sorry, guys. You can't arrest rivers unless they've done something wrong. They have rights. They can actually hire lawyers now.
Aquaman talks to fucking fish, and even he thinks this would be batshit insane.
Here's a good question. Would it be fun to watch a story in DC Universe of Aquaman having a legal battle over fish's real estate or something? I'm like trying to think. Like, what would it be?
I remember there's an episode of Metalocalypse where the band is getting sued because the song says go into the water, go there, die there. So two fans decided to go into the water and they almost drowned. So they decided to sue the band for damages. But the band wins because on the CD itself has a wording that says not intended for humans, fish only.
Oh.
Good stuff.
has shown us some people, but not others. In the United States, indigenous peoples like myself were not citizens under the law until 1924. My Shinnecock ancestors, pictured here, were not citizens under the law. Then why
now
do we
they are.
claim to
Yeah, they're people. We see them. They have reservations. We protect them. That's all throughout the Western world.
be nations governed by the rule of law if some people are protected, but not others? Because it remains one of the best ways to fight injustice.
How?
As indigenous people, we know injustice.
Okay, so that was in response to pipelines throughout America. This is also an issue in Canada because we have pipelines connecting all throughout Canada that connect down to the states. States usually have the secret technology of refining into petroleum and that we don't have the recipes for, else we do it ourselves. So we ship it all down to the states, and this goes right through all the mountains and waterways and properties of this indigenous land that is pristine and no one touches. And they obviously have problems with that. This is constantly a debate going on.
Okay,
So,
well, that's understandable, but then that's more to do with environmental protection and not giving water human rights.
right, it's what is a reservation? How can we properly constitute building things or across this land without infringing on the rights of the people who own it? So that's still a legal issue, but it would make things very complicated if you start building on physical people. I don't know how that would work.
The more of these crazy TEDx or TED Talks we hear, the more I'm convinced the people listening are there because they're bored and have nothing better to do that day.
Maybe it's like a group, like TED is a whole day or a series of days, and they just have random people come in.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
They just pull random people off the street.
It's kind of like a warm-up band, like it's a whole day thing. Like it's an event. Like okay, I'm going to sit in this room, and I'm going to listen to 10 TED Talks that come out one right after another.
I could definitely believe like a TEDx talk, not a TED Talk, but specifically TEDx talk is just while it's like a day, it's just something they put on the street, and then people just kind of walk down the street and say, "Oh, that's interesting. I'll see what that's about," rather than actually putting a reservation like a real TEDx talk.
Yeah, it's kind of. Well, I used to work for a company that did Idea City, and before it was Idea City, it was TED. And the guy who wanted to do this stuff in Toronto says, well, I want to do this, this, and this. And TED was like, no, we don't do that here. He said, well, I'm going to do it myself. So he did his own thing. And what they do is they schedule an entire series of like a whole week almost. It's a giant series of parties. And they have the auditorium in the Royal Conservatory, and they go off to eat, and they come back the next day. It's always based off a theme. So the first day is like cancer. The second day is preservation. The third day is health. So they have all these experts fly in, give them room and board, roll out the red carpet, and they have them talk. So obviously it's something like that, just not as extravagant, because this was a private individual fitting the bill for this. So this is, I don't know what the heck this is. I'd have to actually go to one to find out. But
I have a bottle of water next to me. Hey, water, do you think you have rights? I didn't say anything, so.
Nah.
Water, do you have memory?
It's good. It's good, Shiny.
I'd be concerned if it did say something to you.
What's that, water? I need to kill everyone.
Oh, here's John Lemley. Citizenship has largely not helped native tribes, so why would it help water? There's a big debate about all the subsidies being given to the Native Americans, and they're not actually helping them, they're hindering them because they're getting a handout. They're not developing their societies. So there's a huge argument around what do we do and how do we keep giving these payments to our Native Americans, but yet allowing them to grow, because there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of corruption, at least in Canada, for all these payments. We have a few scandals, a few serial murders in our societies as a result. So not the best scenario when the government gets involved, starts handing out money. As we've noticed, I don't know if you guys have seen in your countries, but in Canada we have the CERB, which is as a result of COVID. So everyone has to, either take it. There's employment insurance, so you can take that if you want. And then after all of this, they're like, oh, if you didn't need the $2,000 a month, you have to give it back. So you have to go through this whole rigmarole of getting money from the government only to give it back. And it's just this whole mess. And our deficit has blown up, and it's just getting silly. So
I think the whole world's a mess right now, not just Canada.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah.
Then he set it on fire.
Yes. Yes, our Master DX Dunn has arrived.
hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. But yeah, I totally agree that there's a lot of problems with the Native American reservations. I actually lived near a reservation for a few months when I was on my mission, and that place is podunk as crap. They don't have any kind of lights. It's any kind of street lights. They just have most of it's dirt roads. The houses are run down. It's a lot of them are very spread apart. It just seems as though there's just not anything that's being done to help out these poor people.
I'm kind of curious why they keep doing it. Is it a result of just because they're getting handouts, or is it because they just don't care? Is there any motivation? Is this a philosophy that their elders have? I'm curious about it. Why they live like this and why they want to, because they have all these opportunities to do things, to move or do things locally, and they don't. I'm curious why. What's going on?
A dear friend, mentor, water walker,
What?
Nokomis, grandmother Josephine Mandamin Ba.
Was it
She
Jesus?
told me
Jesus walked on
of a
water.
prophecy that comes from her people, the Anishinaabe of the Medewan society.
Mm-hmm.
And in that prophecy, she told me that it tells of a day that will come where an ounce of water costs more than an ounce of gold.
Okay.
Let me look at that. The world is almost 80% water. Not sure that checks out. Not sure that checks out at all.
I mean, we have to think of some really futuristic sci-fi post-apocalyptic world where water is so scarce than precious metals or whatever that
You do
yes, it would
realize
be a
that
commodity. It would be a huge commodity. It's true.
the water level is rising, not falling.
Right. But this is the analogy we have to understand. If this is going to happen, there's plenty of stories of fallout, nuclear fallout, or whatever futuristic world where things like water is very rare, clean water, that sort of stuff, clean food, whatever.
You can still purify water.
Sure, there's lots of it right now, but that's the sci-fi warning. So we have to all right, maybe, gold is going to become so abundant that, which is
But if we're going
$2,000 in the stock exchange right now.
If we're going down the path we're going down right now, I don't think water is going to become more valuable than gold.
You have to look at other parts of the world, though, not just first world countries, but third world countries, parts of India, where water is always scarce, depending on the seasons. So there are hugely populated areas that don't have enough supply of water.
But then that's got more to do with. I think that's not going to change with time because that's something which has always been there already.
Yeah, it's kind of outside the realm of engineering and infrastructure. It's more to do with location and resources. So you can ship in and pump in all the water.
And that's not going to have anything to do with giving human. If you just give water rights, that's not going to fix those problems.
No, it's not going to. It's going to probably make them worse, actually, if all these restrictions now. Here's Sir Skeleton. Does this mean water will be taken to trial, and hopefully prison for all the drownings it's caused?
Yes, we should imprison water.
If you give
all
them
the
rights
drownings.
and they take away those rights by breaking the law, I guess that technically would happen. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
John Lunley again.
Hey, John. The reservations are a bad setup for natives in general and were designed not to help them recoup more of their land. Also, if water deserves recognition and respect, Andrew Ryan should be canceled. Oh, boy. There's a fascinating thought.
Who, what, where, why?
Oh, well, if you're talking about Andrew Ryan, meaning the BioShock universe,
Oh,
and he builds things under the water as a challenge to his capitalist spirit.
No, says the man in Washington. No, says the man in the Vatican. No, says the man in Moscow. Yeah. As a man entitled to the sweat off his brow. No, says the yeah. It was fantastic. I liked it. I like BioShock.
Yeah, he had to build it. There's no other opportunity. It was the only way to build Rapture. He had to do it underwater. That was the, the only solution he came up with. It's like, bring in all these engineers, all these people to keep the air circulating, oxygen going, and water seals to work. So it's ripe for an environment that would be not post-apocalyptic. What's the word? Dystopian? Yeah, that's probably best.
Yeah.
Okay. More water walker lady. Here we go.
When she told me that prophecy, I sat for a moment.
Prophecy. Oh my goodness. This is
I
news to me.
foresee chocolate hobnobs becoming more valuable than gold.
Yeah,
Buy chocolate hobnobs.
it's at $2,000 this week, all-time high. It's possible, water could get up there another 100 years, maybe 200 years, when we overpopulate the planet. We need so much water, we don't have enough filtration plants.
But when you just have a higher population, you just build more filtration plants.
Yeah, I know.
And I thought about all of the injustices we see in our world today, the water crises we see in our world today. And I said, Nokomis, grandmother, I feel like we are already in that time of prophecy.
What?
And she looked back at me
What?
directly.
Sorry?
And she said,
Yeah, well,
We're already in the time of water being worth more than gold. Fuck me, I need to get to a tap right now.
yeah, start filling up.
Well, that's true. It wasn't really like a prophecy then, was it? It was more like an observation.
We live in the time of the prophecy. Whose prophecy? The one that was made years ago.
I,
One that I
I
made 5
foretell-
seconds ago.
I foretell the coming of giant metal contraptions. People will drive down the streets. We have
They will
those.
drive. The word drive will be used for piloting. The word pilot will be used for driving.
John Lemley, no gods or kings, only sentient water. Ooh. Yeah, can't go wrong with Andrew Ryan.
Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says this woman for the TED Talk. It belongs to the water.
It belongs to the
The
law.
sweat belongs to water.
It's still water, right? This water with salt in it. Came from your body.
Are waterbenders like
They're
they
tired.
don't ask for consent from the water when they bend it, do they?
Yeah, they're slave drivers now. They're slave masters.
Work, water, work. You stay in my bottle. I'm gonna use you whenever I need you.
Gotta respect Armin Shimmerman for the voice of Andrew Ryan. Still can't believe that's his voice. It sounds very, very different when you think of Quark.
Would you kindly?
Yeah.
Who was the Roman emperor who whipped the ocean because it sunk its fleet? I can't remember.
Caligula? Is that Caligula?
Yeah, he whipped the ocean.
It's usually Caligula. He's a bit crazy, yeah.
I'm gonna whip the ocean for sinking my fleet.
Did he
How
whip some
big?
slaves? Did he whip some male homosexual whores? Yeah, probably. Yeah. He whipped them all. He did all
Did he-
that.
Does he strip down naked and sing from the rooftops? Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to war with. He stopped this war in Britain so that he could whip the sea, or he he went to war with the sea god Neptune. Got 2 Roman legionaries to collect some seashells and then attack the waves.
I just love the idea of what the Roman soldiers were thinking. It's like, hey, Dave, do you ever think that Caligula's maybe a bit nuts? Like, I'm not paid enough to answer those fucking questions. Just keep stabbing the waves.
This is an easy job. We have to do
Better
stab
than,
water.
better than yesterday. We had to-
Would you prefer to be fighting the fucking English? No, we're fucking fighting these waves. I don't want to die to swords.
Did you see the size of the Scotsman?
Have you fucking seen the Celts? They're so crazy. They fucking run around and kill their own people. I don't
Yeah,
want to
if
fight that.
If we're not careful, his horse, the horse he named Consul, will have us killed.
The great chain trademark binds water away into obedience. Oh.
And then Adam Wooford.
Let's see. She is talking about one of the ends of how the world might end. Okay. A fire will eat the world. Men, an age of desert and sand. It's a Native American myth. All right. So it's like a flooding philosophy or tale.
Okay, so it's not her prophecy then; it's a myth.
Yeah, every culture prehistoric has a end of days sort of or a renaissance of the world, if you will, a rebirth.
Yeah, and then some culture thought it was going to end in fucking 2012 because that they couldn't be bothered to put their calendar further than that day. And then everyone thought the world was going to end in 2012, but guess what? It fucking didn't.
Not that we
People
know
thought
of.
the world was going to end in the year 2000. They were fucking dipshits.
I remember the training programs my dad had to do for the Millennium Bug. Apparently, this would cause this massive catastrophe in the banking system, and God knows what else. There's that stupid movie that was made. All these ridiculous things you had to go through, training for nothing.
Isn't it quite like an easy test to see if computers can handle it? Because, like, people who program the computers would know to make sure it could handle.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
Oh,
It's not,
numbers-
it's not, there's nothing about binary or memory registers or anything specific about.
If anything, like I think there is a date on like some machines which it can't ever go past it, and if it'll do, it'll just reset back to the beginning.
Yeah, you're talking about like
That just sets the calendar. It doesn't make the whole machine just go.
right things like the Unix timestamp, which is this huge number. I mean, it's not a big problem, and we're not going to worry like 20,000 years in the future, whatever the number is. Like, it's not a big deal.
Mhm.
So your binary your bank account's not going to go to negative whatever. It's not going to happen. Water is a parasite. Do not be a friend of water. Oh dear. I think it's the opposite message of what she's giving here. All right, let's just keep going.
I think I just remember that whole saying from George Carlin. The planet is fine. Okay, the planet is fine. Don't worry about the planet. It's the people. It's the people that are.
Yeah, the people are going to be fucked.
Yeah, the
What
planet
is
is
it?
fine.
Like Will Smith? No, Will Smith. That's not the name of the movie. The name of the movie is Men in Black, starring Will Smith, not Will Smith starring Men in Black. A person is smart. People are dumb, stupid.
People of color these days. We're going to be very progressive.
Excuse me while I go take a crap in a nearby lake.
Does that mean we're going to have to shoot animals or something if they go near lakes and start pooping in it and drinking from it without the lake's consent?
Bambi just starts drinking from the lake. He's like, fucking piece of shit. How dare you?
I mean, this whole thing about lakes and rivers should have the same rights as humans sounds good, in a metaphorical or romantic sense. It doesn't sound so rational when you want to do exactly that in a legal sense.
Can you imagine the animal rights activists going nuts because water has more rights than animals?
PETA versus this lady, yeah.
No, but then we don't really. No one takes Peter seriously anymore. It's yeah, they're known for some very bad things.
Like when they got onto Obama for swatting a fly.
Despite the fact that they kill like thousands of pets, they can illegally steal pets from people and then kill the pet before they can even put this through the legal process to like get the pet back. I remember there was some little girl's dog had been stolen by PETA, and then they tried to get it back, and before they could get it back, they euthanized the fucking dog. That's how fucking fucked up PETA is.
Also, did you see the size of the lobsters? We might lose a toe. Just keep swinging your sword. You might get a 10 from this. I might be called Egyptian. I completely don't know where that's from. I'm
I think
sorry.
he's talking about the Romans who were fighting the ocean.
Oh, okay.
Is he maybe just a bit late on that?
Maybe. But I'm like, whoa, that's... was that a joke? We were like 5 minutes later? Yeah, okay. I had to think about that one for a moment. All right.
Do about it. That's why I'm here with you today, because I believe that one of the many solutions to solving the many water injustices we see in our world today.
Water injustices.
I'm about to commit murder on podcast. Just give me a second.
I'm trying to
I'm
think
now a
what
murderer.
she means by water injustice, aside from a government body not providing proper facilities for its citizens to purify water. That's the only injustice I can think of. Guys, you just hate women, Lady of the Lake. Oh, is that show that really sucks? What is it called?
Cursed.
It's called Cursed, yeah.
I saw Daniel Green's review of it, and it's just like, this just looks terrible. This looks like a sort of Shannara,
the new
only
Netflix
worse.
show?
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I don't know if you guys have seen sort of Shannara on TV. That's
I have.
it's
have.
Yeah. It's not that bad. It's not best, let's just say.
Yeah, it's bad.
I've
It's
watched
very
parts of it, and oh my god, I'm just. How the fuck is it so popular? I was just going downstairs, and then I kind of just kept watching. And I was like, wait, why does that happen? What the fuck? Why is this? Wait, no, wait, what? What the fuck is going on here? Why are these dogs just like, what the hell? It's just fucking complete nonsense every fucking frame. It's so bizarre.
It's we're talking about Shannara, we're talking about Cursed.
Cursed.
Okay. I saw a few clips. I was like, this has potential. It's not doesn't look horrible.
No, Cursed is cursed. It's terrible. It's fucking retarded.
Daniel Green's review of the pilot was like, ouch.
All right. Here's Joe Crazy. So if someone goes skinny dipping, would that be considered sexual assault? Oh, that's a good question. What would happen to nudist camps who have like reservations as well?
Would that be sexual assault on the person, or would it be sexual assault on the water? Because technically they're both going inside each other.
Oh. That's
Don't think about that.
That's a little strange there, Shiny. Okay. Alex Halo, Peta made a game demonizing Pokemon players. Really?
What the heck?
That's
What
funny.
else have they done? I remember they've done a lot of games like attacking people and all kinds of stuff.
I've never heard. That's like making a game.
They have entire websites full of Peta games
on like puzzle games and attacking like first-person shooter gamers or something. That'd be pretty silly. Not very smart.
They have a whole website full of parody games. Pokemon
Peta?
versus McDonald's.
Isn't Peta a parody now? Isn't Peta a parody of Peta? Like a Lower Decks, Star Trek, the Lower Decks is a parody of Star Trek.
Their games are Meat is Murder the Game, Paintball Hero, Kitten Squad, Pokemon versus McDonald's, Cage Fight, Pokemon Black and Blue, Mario Kills Tanuki, Super Tofu Boy, New Chick Sisters, Cooking Mama Kills Animals, Food Fast Nation, Elephants Never Forget, Make Your Own Sea Kitten, KKK or AKC, Spot the Difference.
What? What are you talking about?
Super Chick Sisters, the Commando Chicks, Stick a Chick Game, Lobster Literation, Revenge of Peter Tomatoes, and How Green Is My Diet. And those are all games by Peter.
So if a river floods, right? If a river floods or a lake overflows and drowns a bunch of people, is that particularly under free speech? If they have the same rights, or is that can you arrest the river and lakes for murder now that they have the rights of humans? How does this work? If the lake floods a little bit but doesn't damage anything, just floods around it, is that free speech? Is that if he just doesn't kill anybody but it wipes away some houses, is that free speech? Or can it be punished for vandalism?
You know, I am tempted to kind of play these games on streams. Some people seem interested in that.
Yeah.
So maybe I will do that at some point. If you want to see me do that, subscribe to me at my channel below.
And Adam Woodford. So, what is water's gender? Is it gay or straight?
Obviously, it's non-binary. Duh.
Clearly.
Water is obviously a him. Okay,
What?
obviously.
Joshua.
You
Buckle.
assuming it's gender?
Yes, it told me.
Oh yeah, what a talk.
Joshua Buckle. What madness are we covering today?
Yeah, well, we all make water, sir, and in the end, water makes us. I wish I knew the quote, but I think our chat is too smart for us. We're just sort of sitting there in awe, going, "What the hell?"
If you
is
accidentally
there?
fall into a river, can the river sue you for rape? Or take you to court?
Accidental rape.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All right, I think we already covered this super chat. Thank you, Adam. All right, let's keep going before our brain cells die.
Is recognizing that water is a living relation and granting it the legal personhood it deserves.
Okay, that's interesting. So this is like saying, okay, we need to preserve our property, our way of life, because we need water to survive. I don't know if treating it like a person is the way to do it. But it's an
Yeah,
interesting idea.
I agree. Obviously, you don't want water being polluted. I completely agree.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing.
It's a bad thing to have polluted water. We all agree on there.
But it doesn't. You shouldn't need to give it human rights because it's not a human. Water isn't human. Lakes aren't human. Rivers aren't human.
Just say
That'd be
don't pollute water. That's all you need to do.
Well,
Just to have
if you
laws in place that don't
you-
stop people from polluting it.
If you're hiking in a forest and you drink from a river under these laws, can you be taken to jail for stealing?
I
I
hate
just love this
water.
quote just because. Just because. There's no reason.
I hate water. It's wet, cold, and it gets everywhere. Bilbo Kin Sky Baggins.
I want to arrest a lake for having rained on my house. I want to arrest water for having rained on my house.
Yeah,
I do
from like 2,000 miles away.
If,
Water is assaulting me.
if I find out where the rain is coming from, where the clouds pick up the rain from, I want to arrest that body of water for not only assaulting me because it rained on me, but vandalizing my house. Okay, I need to take it to jail. I'm getting a lawyer right now.
Yeah, well, the floods that caused damages in like to housing and shit.
that water better have had insurance, or else we're going to court.
Yeah. So, what about water in the atmosphere? Not rainwater, but like morning dew. Technically, that's still moisture.
Invading my privacy.
It's on my land.
Yeah.
Oh, George Kell says, say help to Water Chan.
Oh no. There's Lava Chan. We have Water Chan.
Yeah. Let's keep going with this.
So to do so, we need to transform the way in which we value water. We have to start to think about how do we connect to water.
Sure.
Usually someone might ask you, what is water?
Okay.
And
Well,
you would
I think
respond,
everyone
water?
knows what is water.
What is it?
It's H2O.
Ah!
Science.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything she says could be debunked by science. I don't think you need Native American prophecies to argue this. If you bring some science to the table, by all means, I will listen to you. But don't pretend I have to like I'm treating your religion seriously when you're trying to force it into law.
Let's cancel water for sinking the Titanic. I don't know. That'd be a little silly. Kind of like this video, but yeah, that's where our thoughts are going these days with all sorts of ridiculous theories. Humanizing an inanimate object. Very, very, very complicated idea there.
Well, you see, what is Earth? You see, we think of Earth as dirt, but is the Earth really dirt? Is it 100% calcium? Maybe it's made of McDonald's, and maybe there are little tiny brain cells in the dirt which make the world a living thing. And therefore, an extent, Earth becomes a living thing. So what is Earth?
Guys, what is dihydrogen monoxide and why does it have rights?
Yeah, that's the major question why we're here.
I want this lady to come out at the end and say this is all a joke. Please tell me she comes out and says it's all a joke.
Well, she has the headdress or whatever she's wearing on her head. She's got the I don't know what kind of jewelry that is. So I think she's kind of playing the part. It wouldn't surprise me if she's like, hey, I'm just trying for a role. How am I doing?
Besides, water isn't even that good. Have you tried soda?
Whoa.
It's excellent. We should change all the oceans into
Have you
soda.
tried
That way-
alcohol?
Alcohol is good, but have you tried meth? No. Just kidding.
What are midi chlorians? It's crystal meth.
It's crystal meth.
Yeah.
Rain, ocean, lake, river, H2O, liquid. You might even understand the sacred essentiality of water and say that water is life. But what if I asked you instead,
I mean, water
who
helps create life. It's an important part of life. I don't think it is life itself. Lady, what the fuck do you want?
is water?
Who is water? Oh boy, that's a good question. Who is water? I like to call him Bob in the evening, or Jane in the morning. What do you think?
You know, we need Odo to answer this question. Odo is a liquid, and therefore he can communicate with the water.
Yeah. Is it murder when cooking with water? I
think it'd be
don't
torture because you're boiling in the water.
don't know anymore. Ah.
I like water.
Personifying chemical compounds. I don't know, man. It's too far beyond for me.
I boil the water. I torture it. I do it slowly. I turn it up. I drink it and I spit it out. I waste it.
I put it in the kettle and I make it scream.
I pour it on dirt just to give it to the plants. I give it away. Okay, I don't value this water stuff. Okay, I'm just a
tree's
water
also
merchant.
A tree's also mass murderer since they constantly absorb water all the time.
They call me Johnny Waterseed because I just spread it around.
Remember
you
when
spit
Christ turned the
everywhere.
water into nothing else because water is a living being?
Oh no!
It's bringing religion, my friend. Very.
Oh, she's bringing religion. I'm pretty sure it's only fair for John Lemmy to do it too.
I don't know if this is religion or just this weird belief she's got in what she wants to do with.
Well, she made
preserving-
arguments at the beginning based off of religious myths.
I know, but
religion.
think of the angle she's playing. She wants to make this legal, so she wants to either make it some sort of religious element, like because if you make something into religion, it's protected. But it wouldn't be a federal thing. It would be a states' rights or whatever tribe she's a part of. It would be like something like that, so they could argue their case more for whatever money they want. But that, I don't know her angle. I don't get it. It's a prophecy. It's a person. Okay. Rin Wesley, thank you. She's trying to frame a rational argument for clean water. I think you might be right with a cultural myth. But isn't this why we have story? This is just awkward. I think so. I don't know what she's trying to do.
This is a giant appeal to emotion, and within as well as an appeal to religious authority.
Yeah, there was that joke. I can't remember what Glib told me before that joke TED talk. That is
we got to watch the 2070 paradigm shift.
yeah,
Please
it's like
say we can watch this after. Watch that after this.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
giant appeal to emotion. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I get it, yeah," and you don't know what the hell they're talking about. It makes no sense, but it just sounds and feels good. That's what we've got so far because there's no legal distinction we can make. There's no tort. There's no federal law that says anything like this.
I kind of agree with the super chat. I think maybe she's trying to get at something like, obviously, don't pollute water, that kind of thing. But the way she's going about it is really fucking extreme and bizarre and batshit crazy. Like, really batshit crazy.
Yeah, and I've met some
water?
really great Native
Water
Americans. They're fantastic people. Like they're really
Water
nice.
remembers.
Yeah,
Water,
they are cool.
water can hear everything you say and do. Water is a person. It's called Jeff. It lives down the street.
In the same way that I might ask you, who is your grandmother? Who is your sister?
Well, she's dead.
That type of orientation fundamentally transforms the way in which we think about water, transforms the way in which we make
What?
decisions.
What do you mean? Who is my grandmother? It's very different to who is what. My grandmother was a fucking person for a
Well,
start.
I think what she's getting at is that if we were more informed of where we get our water from, like where's our source of water come from, why does it taste the way it does? Like in Canada, we have lots of hard water, and compared to the States, you guys have lots of soft water. Ours is more mineralized. We would appreciate what we've got and how our society works, at least that element of it. So I can get that aspect of what she's getting at. When you personify something, you make it more real. So she's just doing it in her whimsical, spiritual way because that's where she was born and how she was taught. So I get that. But she's getting to this strange conclusion of legalizing it and personifying, which I don't understand why. Like, why would you do this?
About how we might protect water. Protect it in the way that you would protect your grandmother, your mother, your sister, your aunties.
Why
That is
all
the
women?
type of transformation.
Can't you protect men as well?
Yeah, I know. No, it's a good point because we've had this problem in Toronto, for example, like the water in the Great Lakes or Superior, what have you, is mostly polluted, right? You can swim in it, but you can't drink it. You have to wait for it to come out of the tap. So it is an ongoing issue, and maybe if we were concerned more about preservation than industry, we have a different environment. We'd have different fauna and flora and all sorts of other things in the water these days. There's lots of chlorine. I know in the Humber River where I live near, you can smell it when you go for a jog. So this is
Why the hell is
important.
there so much chlorine?
They got to clean it. It was really bad in the past 20 years, and that's one way to do it. You can use ozone, but chlorine's the more efficient way or the cheaper way. So then everything changed when the water tribe attacked. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, is water bending really torture? Or things we may never understand?
It's slavery. That's what it is. It's
Hey,
forcing
with
water
slavery.
to do your bidding for you.
They keep the water in concentration camps where they put them inside little vessels and sell them off. This is egregious.
Does that mean spirit water is like the queen of all water?
Well, I would like to see that the fact that bottled water gets its place as a commodity, because there is a big difference I've noticed between bottled water and tap water. So maybe that's because I'm in Canada and I can tell the difference.
One thing I've noticed is that different places have like different flavored water. If that's strange to say.
Yep.
So I've noticed that when I went to the Lake District in the UK, the water tasted absolutely rank. Like, it was absolutely fucking disgusting. And I don't know why it tasted so awful.
Yeah, there's some parts of the world where they say don't drink the water. Always either carry bottled water or buy.
Completely safe.
Yeah,
It just tasted weird. I'm talking about tap water here. It's safe. It's purified. It's within limits, but it just tastes awful for some reason, just because of the region that it was getting from.
Yeah, when I was staying at a Holiday Inn back in the day in the States, and I would take a shower, like my hair would get so soft because the water was really absorbent and can diffuse properly, compared to the hard water we have in Canada. So there is taste, there's texture, there's all sorts of properties of water, and that's why you buy certain bottles of water. There's two brands I love: San Benedetto and San Pellegrino.
Yeah. I had that exact experience in like Kansas because there's a lot of fertilizer in the soil, and some of it leaks into the water system. So you have to get it like either a really good water filtration system or you get bottled water. But in Utah, most of it's mountain water, so you don't have to worry about it.
Who is my grandmother? Answer water. Who is my grandfather? Answer water. Can I have whatever she is smoking, please?
Would you protect water
crazy.
just like you protect your grandmother?
She's not crazy. She's just she's a bit too much of a hippie, I think, is the issue.
Well, hippies are crazy.
We understand what she's trying to say. That's the thing.
Yeah.
She's just saying it in the strangest way. Washington football team, the last waterbender.
She's also taken it to an extreme as well, I would say, as well as saying it in a very weird way.
Again, her culture, her religion, that's totally fine. I'm okay with that. Water is now the CIA's best agent.
Because it hears everything.
Yeah.
They've hacked the water.
Yeah.
They're putting nanobots in the water that turn the freaking frogs straight.
That we need.
No, go for it.
If we are going to address the many water crises we see in our world today. These harrowing water crises that have streamed across our digital devices in countdowns to day zero, the point at which municipal water supplies are shut off.
What?
Okay, that's a possibility. I would never When you think about that, that would be like, okay, a grand exodus from whatever place you are to go where the water is, where you can survive. That has never been a major problem. I don't think even immigrants from like 100 years ago, like my ancestors when they came to Canada or what have you, were like, is there water in Quebec? Is there water on the Great Lake? Yeah, huge bodies of water, 5 Great Lakes in Canada. That was never like, hey, let's go there. There's lots of water there. You know, it never really crossed their minds. I think they had plenty of water in their villages. So not really concerned for most people. 100 years ago, nowadays, we're only thinking about the third world when we talk about water and supply and cleanliness, unless you're talking about very particular elements and conditions in certain Native American tribes or reservations. And Flint, Michigan, I think. That was the big one.
Places like Cape Town, South Africa, where in 2018, residents were limited to 2-minute showers and 23 gallons of water per day per person. Or just this past summer, where the mismanagement of water led the streets of Chennai to be lined with thousands of plastic water jugs, as residents waited hours for water tankers to deliver water first by rail, then by truck to meet their daily needs.
Giving water
It
rights
pays to keep an
isn't going to fix that. And hello, HSBC.
Yeah.
I will always love the ad pop up when we were watching Maggie May Fish talk about how Obi-Wan is Luke's real dad.
Have you been powdering your dick lately?
It sounds like something the American Psycho would do. What's it Patrick Bateman would do? In the morning, I powder my dick with some baby powder.
Anti-aging dick powder.
From Australian dolphin bladders. Like, what?
An open mind. It's why short-term savers and long-term planners bank with us.
HSBC
Million-dollar
Canada.
ideas.
Don't work with them. Counter ad.
HSBC, I go with.
We disavow Canadian HSBC. Obviously, the British HSBC is much better. You should go support them.
Shout out to HSBC for laundering, $881 million or whatever. Good job, team. Good job. LIBOR. I remember it. People died. It was funny. Not at all, actually. It's terrible. HSBC to pay 1.9 billion fee. Yeah, good job, guys.
I think I watched too many financial YouTubers. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. I have no idea.
Should be called HCBS. There you go.
CBS.
Or even here in the United States, one of the most developed nations in the world, today, Flint, Michigan still does not have clean water. But you are likely...
You know what? On that note, I'm pretty sure Flint, Michigan is intentionally being left that way. I'm pretty sure some people probably would have gone and gone in there and fixed it. As there's so many documentaries and everything, but so much money's been made off of its misery that there's a very high invested interest in keeping Flint, Michigan miserable. So
what is that?
Keep making documentaries.
What is happening with Flint, Michigan?
It's
I don't know what the hell is.
but it's most famous for being horrible, and it has dirty water. It's like toxic to live there and everything. But what was his name? Michael Moore, I think, right? Something like that. It's Michael Moore, the really big guy, the really big documentary guy. He's like really, really far to the left, and he's everyone makes fun of him for being really, really fat. But he's well known for being from Flint, Michigan, and then making documentaries about it for many, many years, making documentaries about Flint, Michigan, and everyone always goes back to Flint, Michigan. Everyone, every time you want to see, United States is terrible. Look at Flint, Michigan. It's kind of like whenever they wanted to bash Christianity, they always go back to the Westboro Baptists. It's kind of like that. There's an invested interest, it seems, to keep Flint, Michigan terrible.
I think that they should abandon it because they're using lead pipes, right? And then they have an acidic water supply. And then once the corrosion happens, then the lead gets into the water. So you go, okay, we got to replace all the pipes. Except, what if you don't have the layout for where all the pipes are and where they go because they've never been updated. So nobody knows which ones have lead and nobody knows which ones don't. And that means they have to tear up the entire city's water piping system.
Well, for example,
might as well just leave.
Does anyone know how much Michael Moore is worth? Or I think his name is Michael Moore.
I don't know.
The guy, he's actually from Flint, Michigan.
Well, but that I mean, if Michael Moore was from Flint, Michigan, that would explain a lot. I mean, a lot of that kind of damage that your brain can withstand is only so much under the
I don't think he's a human from Flint, Michigan. I think he's like some sort of toxic entity that is developed in there.
Yeah,
but
he crawled out of the piping system.
Yeah, he's I think. Well, let me see here. Let me look at his net worth real quick because he has gotten so much money. He's currently worth around $50 million. And he has gotten so much money with these documentaries, including Flint, Michigan. But Flint, Michigan, I don't think he's helped it very much. It's still apparently terrible. At least it was. I don't know if it's been improved lately, but I don't think it has. So if he was actually invested in helping out this town, well, you think he would take a little bit of that money if he's that invested? Take a little bit of that money and help it out on his own if no one else is. If he's that invested. And also, I like to point out, I think he talks about globalization and capitalism, and I think he bashes capitalism all the time. But he's worth $50 million. Buy my documentary on how capitalism is evil.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that I liked about Michael Moore was that he admitted that he understood that all of the people that were going to vote for Trump were going to say F you to the system. And that's what it was all about. And that there was nothing that the Democrats were doing to offer the people that were going to vote for Trump anything. Because they're out to get those people. They're out to tax those people. The people that the Democrats are counting on for their votes and shit are people that have nothing. And they are being promised everything. Hey, we'll give you the free healthcare and the free schooling and, even citizenship and all these things. Just vote for us. We'll give you citizenship if you vote for us.
We'll give you absolutely everything.
Think about that statement, though. Anyway, go on. We can finish off this water because I'm thirsty.
Be unfamiliar with these water crises, such as Neshkantaga First Nation in Northern Ontario, Canada, where residents have been on a boil water advisory since 1995. Or Grassy Narrows First Nation, which for decades has been dealing with water contamination from the paper mill industry, and where a recent study found that nearly 90% of the indigenous population has some form of mercury poisoning causing severe health complications.
Yeah.
Or
this is a big deal. Sure.
Yep.
This is a big deal. Now, what's being done about it, and why hasn't anything been done about it? Isn't there an interesting story there that we're missing here?
Yeah, I agree. This is a big deal, but the thing is, giving water rights isn't going to solve the problem.
This is stupid. But I get what she's saying. Like, what about these people's water? Yeah, that's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Water's still not worth
done anything about it
financially.
Millions of dollars. Nobody's done anything. So why isn't Trudeau anything done?
Yeah, there's a constant issue with the Native Americans and whatever federal government is in power at the time, and it's always like, well, we pass it off to your people who are in charge, the elders or whoever's the representative, to associate with these people, and it's the same thing. They just want more money, and we give them more money, and they don't fix their problems. It's like, well, what do you want us to solve your problems? Like, no.
Yes.
It's like it's a constant roadblock between giving them the land that they own. Like, yes, this is your land. Do whatever you want. You need more money to fix things. Okay, here you go. And they do whatever they want with it. So
and it's funny because how many people are in the Neshkantaga First Nation? Guess. Everybody put a guess. Ballpark.
10.
Close.
Just 10.
Close.
10 people.
It's 265. So 265 people without. You'd think that would be a solvable problem. So what's going on here? Who is to blame for this? Who exactly? And it's like
China
did a good job. Yeah, China did a good job of destroying the water supply in Canada. No, but
well, China does a very good job at destroying their own fucking water supplies.
That's very true.
And everything else.
Yeah, but she's not complaining about that. The number one polluter of water in the world.
You know how China is doing very bad things to cause they cause more pollution than any other fucking country. You could put Russia, America, and Europe together, and you still wouldn't come close to the amount which China fucking puts out into the atmosphere. And yet no one goes after China. It's always, hey, you over there, you're using a car to get to work. Why the fuck aren't you biking? Because it's like an hour and a half away. Why the fuck aren't you biking?
everything is always America's fault.
Yeah.
Everything. China's pollution, America's fault somehow. Everything's always America's fault. That's the rule. That's the one rule of the world. If you don't know who to blame America.
I'm not sure who the word thirsty is, Glib. I don't know who that's for or from, but apparently you can't use it.
Thirsty. I don't know why it's you. That's kind of weird. Thirsty is
Oh, it's water saying that you can't use the word thirsty.
I get it. You thirstas. You guys are nothing. It's all about the dry people. We are the superior people. Dryness. We don't get everywhere like water. We get everywhere like sand. No.
Chat is on fire today.
In 14, Flint released this. Water. Their most accomplished controversy. The Navajo Nation was a little too old wave for me.
So going number 2 is like doing German. What?
Scheiße.
Scheiße.
But I don't know why that's. I don't know what the water. Yeah, no. He's right. He's right because the water's sentient. I get it. I get the joke. Very dirty, Taker. Very dirty.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's just keep going here, sir.
The Navajo Nation. Pictured here is the Animas River on an early morning in 2015, prior to the Gold King mine spill. After the spill leaked millions of hazardous mine waste into the river system, this was it later that day. Today, the Navajo Nation and the Diné people...
That day, and then the day after, it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the river itself are still trying to recover from contamination. Or even right here in Palm Springs, California, where the Agua Caliente band of Kuya Indians has been fighting for decades to protect groundwater from exploitation so that future generations can not only live but thrive in their homelands as they have since time immemorial.
Isn't there a massive wine region in California? Like a huge section of the state is used just for cultivation of grapes and other such produce?
We have so many water problems here in California, right? And it makes sense that people are fighting over it because if we're getting water from other places and we have all of this industry, we have almonds, we have avocados, we have the Napa Valley wine area that you're talking about. Like, plus we have to supply the cities with water. So there, if you watch the movie Chinatown, you'll see it. There's an ongoing fight between the interest of farmers in the rural area and the city, and as far as demanding water. And none of the water is really that clean. I mean, our water is pretty hard. It has like chrome. Like it's if you go to the East Coast and you wash your hands with the water from the Atlantic Ocean in a sink, right? And it'll take some time to get the soap off your hands. If you wash your hands on the West Coast, the water is hard enough to easily get it off your hands because there's like chromium and all sorts of stuff in it. So like, it's funny that it becomes an issue about Native Americans, even though that they have, political issues, but the entire state is starving for water. And it's funny that she brings up the Coachella Valley thing because what happens at Coachella, right? You have the native tribes and the people that are in the area that are trying to profit from it and make it a vacation place or just like their own place. It happens all the time. Who is in charge of water? Who is the person that has the right to control it?
Mm-hmm.
So, now water, its own it's brave, independent entity. Okay, don't try to. Water is not your slave, Glib. Okay, it's its own independent being.
It's funny because Coachella Valley has a district that's just for its water to protect it and conserve it.
Strong, independent water.
Yeah. There's a huge issue about conservation in water. It's not just exclusive to any community. It's the whole thing.
So here's Joe Crazy. Oh, look, the water is doing blackface in regards to the previous.
Oh dear. I guess we need to cancel water for doing such a racist and offensive thing.
It just takes everything it appropriates everything. Water is a horrible, horrible person.
Indeed.
Here's John Lemley. Breaking news: water sues immigrants for assault after having been forced to touch their backs. Just their backs, huh?
It was forced to touch many, many things.
Yeah, it's the problem of being a universal solvent. It just gets everywhere.
Yeah, so this was what she's talking about, the Agua Caliente thing, because it's the 2017 one I'm noticing. They basically wanted to make it so that the water district people couldn't give water to anybody. So it's not like it's a, just benevolent thing. Like, oh, it's our rights, guys. No, they wanted to stop people from getting water.
It's cancel water. There you go.
You see, a recent study by Dig Deep and the U.S. Water Alliance found that race in the United States is the strongest predictor of water and sanitation access.
Really? I would like to see that report.
Let's see that overlaid with income.
Here we go. Back.
Yeah, I would say
We'll talk on race. Here we go.
income probably has a lot more to do with it than it does to do with race.
I'm a member of the Wakanobi Indian tribe. My name's Kelsey Chandler or whatever the fuck, the whitest name ever.
I honestly don't think that there's a grand conspiracy to make water less purified for people who aren't white. I really don't think it's a conspiracy.
If you live in a white area and you're a minority, just your house gets worse water. I don't think that happens.
He goes, "Nyeh."
I mean, it's
Water-
good that she's got her, degree or whatever in
Waterology.
well, but here's the thing. She's got a master's in water science policy and management, but what her degree from Harvard is sociology and anthropology with a secondary field in ethnic studies. So it's like, where does my life intersect between water and Native American stuff? Well, what she should be doing is she should be doing some sort of activism actually for the Shinnecock Indian Nation if there's something to do with it. But I don't. What do you want? What are you going to do? Water being clean is an everybody problem. And it's not that people don't care. It's just that people are making stupid decisions like with the Flint water scandal. So everybody should have their feet held to the fire when it comes to the cleanliness of water. And also we shouldn't fluoridate it. But let's not talk about that. That's foil.
Okay. Water is all the same, right? Yeah, reasonably.
Some water is better than others.
Yeah. Water, no, we don't like underground water. Don't trust them. Is it vor when we drink water? No, I would have to say no. That would be my gut response after I just drank a bunch of water. So, yeah. Tyler Preston, okay, calm down, Greta Thunberg, Senior. How dare you drink the water? That's so scary. Pool is closed due to stingrays. Stingrays? Not stingrays. Stingrays. Gotta think about that one for
If I
a
was to
sec.
go back in time, stingrays.
Yeah.
And that for us as Native American people, we are the group most likely to have access issues as it comes to water and sanitation.
Maybe it's because where you live, just maybe, and how you live, just maybe. I think it has to be based off the representation. So how much more people need water than a village? A city would need it more. A metropolis would need it more than someone far, far away in the reserves. It's a matter of really stock and demand. If you want to go that far, when you dole out money to a state, or rather to a municipality. That's how it works in Ontario. A lot of our budget comes from the Ontario budget in Toronto for everything. So if we want to fix up our TTC system or our metro system, our roads, it all comes from the state. And we get the bulk of that demand because there's more people here. Okay. Kratos killing Poseidon and assaulting his wife in God of War 2 is actually good because Neptune oppressed water and didn't treat it as living beings. Okay, that's... Yep, there's good old Kratos killing all the gods of Olympus. That's doing the gods' work there, or the anti-gods' work.
So, as an Indigenous legal scholar and scientist, I believe that many of these water injustices are the result of the Western legal system's failure to recognize the legal personhood of water.
Okay, so
What the fuck? At what point did you go off track where you could have done something positive for all these people? All of a sudden, you're talking about the life of water and rights of water. You're not talking about how can I make the indigenous people that I care about, that I connect with, that I identify with. I'm a legal scholar. How can I make it so that I am sure that they get the money, the resources, the legal recourse that they need to have clean water? No, this is my meta conclusion. Give water rights. Then it'll decide. Like, what rights are about sentience? I'll give a right to a dog if it can talk to me and be like, hey, I want to vote. I want an ID. I'm going out. I'll see you later. Like, if that's, as soon as
Well, if a
water
dog
comes
starts
to me and
talking
says,
to you,
I
then
feel
I think you
underrepresented, I'll give it rights.
I
This
think-
this has gone so far off the rails. I can't wait. It's just like one of those video essays we watch. I bet by like 10 minutes in, it's going to go completely off the rail, it's going to fall off the ship. It's going to walk the plank.
Well, Glib, you see, if a dog started talking to you, I'd probably say you're batshit crazy.
Well,
You've been taking something.
Well, if a dog starts talking to me, I'll have him call you and confirm.
If she starts citing Hume, I'm gonna be overjoyed.
You'd be like, the dialectic is all about a
nobody-
conversation, Glib, and I'll be like, wow, a dog's talking to me.
Nobody but Just Right is stupid enough to bring in Hume into his topic like this. That is only because Just Right is his own special level of stupid and hypocritical.
I don't mind bringing in philosophers for an argument. You just have to know how to use them and actually understand what the hell they're saying. So, nothing wrong with old white dead guys. Just
Hume using Hume to prove that there's nothing is objective and subjectivity reigns supreme is not really using him correctly. Hume would disagree with what Hume said, apparently.
We Indians from the Water Tribe want a free, independent nation. We also want the U.S. government to pay for all our utilities and infrastructure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
The Warren tribe. The Elizabeth Warren, who Trump calls Pocahontas, who's like what 1,000th Native American or something like that. And she's like this tiniest bit of blood, a drop of blood in her is Native American. She calls that her entire identity.
yeah, They should have got her for VP. That would have been amazing. That would have just everyone would have lost their minds. Like what?
But no, they instead they did the craziest thing possible, and they endorsed a cop. And they endorsed a police officer who locked up a lot of minorities.
Okay, so
So
how do we
the
have
ocean for crabs? It's seafood salad day every day, guys.
getting rights just make it a bigger excuse for it to be held from an indigenous people because it chooses the Western government?
Now that if you give bodies of water human rights and you actually do fish from it and take all the crabs off of it, you can just, and someone wants to get on you for interrupting the environment or something, you say, I'm curing the ocean of a disease. No more crabs. I'm doing justice
Yeah.
for free.
Wouldn't water getting rights just make it a bigger excuse for it to be held away from indigenous people because it chooses the Western government? Okay, that's
pretty funny.
I
I can interpret what the water wants. Just trust me.
It's a water whisperer.
I speak for the water.
Yeah.
oh boy. Everyone remembers the Civil War. We had to end slavery of water and gave water the right to vote. Don't remember that? Me either. Yeah.
It was originally 3/5 of a quart.
Yeah. That's so Scraven super chatted. Avatar, the last brain cell.
Everything was fine until my brain cells were attacked.
Clearly.
Okay. Let's see where she goes with this legal fight to give water rights, or I don't know what she's getting at, but okay.
And so we must ask ourselves, who is justice for? Humanity alone? We've granted legal personhood to corporations.
Okay, that's fine, but the argument for that is kind of stupid, even when you think about it. If you have a group of people, like a corporation, have their own legal rights, and one person in that corporation does something bad, does that mean the entire corporation suffers? Do you sue the corporation, or do you sue the people who did the actual deed? That's the problem with rights. Rights are individual freedoms. That you
And while corporations get rights, they also are accountable under the law.
Well, there's legal reasons to have different rights for a corporation, but to give them individual rights doesn't make too much sense. That's the problem with the definition. So if she's saying, well, if corporations get it, which is a government entity at that point, shouldn't water get it? You're like, well, shouldn't food get it? Shouldn't air get it? Shouldn't sunlight get it? Like, how far do you go with this? And why? So if you guys believe that corporations should have rights, I also agree, but just not in the same capacity of human rights. That's kind of stupid. Okay, we did that one. Swim in the ocean without its consent. Rape. Yeah, that's pretty much trespassing, rape, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty invasive. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Choose your fighter. Here we go. Jurassic Park is no. Jurassic Park is sexist and racist, or water deserves rights. Oh boy.
Dinosaurs deserve rights, and water is sexist.
I just comparing these two videos, I don't know. It's just that one was insane, but we're
Water
talking
is
about media.
Water
This
is
is-
obviously sexist because only women get wet.
Oh, yeah.
There you go,
Yeah,
that's a joke.
clearly. Yep.
If water didn't consent, why is it always wet? That's a good question.
Hey, there's that joke again.
Yeah.
Good job, Bogue.
Yeah, you got it.
Boogity woogity, Bogue.
But is water really wet? That's the real question.
Oh,
Could create dam use spin energy, create power and clean water through filtering through spin. Okay, so you
That's a
want
cool idea.
to make a filter part of the dynamo of
Yeah, hydroelectric dam that generates energy to use to create some sort of filtration system. That's interesting.
Well, the thing with the dynamo, if you actually look at like Niagara Falls when what's his name went over there to design the system, the fans that get powered through the dynamo are really, I think they're aluminum or what have you, and they're super light. So if you were to put a really complex or heavy duty filtration system on top of the fan that would spin, that would generate less energy. So there all you would do is just associate it with the tank, and that would work, as opposed to putting it part of the system that the dynamo is connected to. So yeah, I'm sure they do something like that because it's the water source is right there on the Niagara. So, but the municipality would take care of that. So I don't know if you want to combine technologies, that would be even more complicated. So yeah, no, it's all talk about engineering is always cool to me. Where are we? Did you do that twice? Yeah, you did. Sir, you gave me 2 super chats exactly the same. Sorry about that. All right. Well, we've already said it, so don't worry. Can water be considered trans because they can turn it into a gas or solid? Huh. Jeez. God. Yes, it is transformative in nature. Yes. Just not in the way you're telling us, Joe. Oh. All right, one more. Is a dam what? Come on, what are you talking about? Is plumbing slavery?
You know what this is, Smud? This is like one of those magic eye pictures where you just see whatever you want, and it's just we're just talking about water. So then people are just putting their their horny hornt into the super chat.
This is like people making a joke about all the critics who see things with their emotions. Like,
See things with their emotions.
Yeah, I feel like it made me dirty, and you're like, what? It's a movie about Jesus Christ. Why are you dirty? Like, what are you talking about?
The whole thing about that ProZD makes fun of how someone might complain about a work of anime, for example, and then the anime defenders be like, actually, this means this, and this obviously that you're talking about here, it means this. Obviously, it calls back to the breastfeeding scene from Grapes of Wrath, and then they get all of this highbrow nonsense from different things they see in the anime, and then you kind of ask the creators like, no, I just wanted to see titties. That's kind of what he says. And which reminds me of that video. Whenever you hear some of these people say, well, this obviously Star Wars means that it's promoting racism because of these reasons, or it's promoting fascism because of these reasons. Yeah. I was always remember that ProZD video. Like those are not in there. You're seeing them, but they're not in there.
And we'll always say that Ryan Johnson is a closet racist because he turned the black guy into a janitor and made the Asian woman a preachy bad driver.
Oh. All right, here's John Lindley again. There are machines that can create water from condensation. Yeah, that's called dehumidifiers. And humidity in the air can be easily purified. Easily? It's pretty dirty, but okay.
Yeah, well, no, it's clean, but the problem is that the mechanics which are used to make this, it's a good place for bacteria to grow.
Right.
So
Because
that means that because obviously it's a hot, wet place.
Yes, exactly.
And therefore it's a very good place for bacteria to flourish and make it not suitable for drinking. So you technically can drink it, but after a while, the mechanism's just going to be undrinkable.
Right. Will there be a real and artificial supremacy debate if water were declared sentient? Yeah, if water was sentient, that'd be really freaking. Oh, geez, that'd be an existential crisis. Like, what the hell's going on?
It's like when you ever drink water, it's silently screaming.
Well, no, it would be an entity of some nature, and if we could observe this, the same way we could say, well, animals are sentient, but we kill them in a humane way. It would have to be some other understanding of sentience and classification of life. So that's like kind of saying, well, the cytoplasm of an amoeba is alive. You're like, really? Okay, that's news to me. It would be a whole other classification, and you'd have to talk about like how does this connected. There would be a whole other avenue of science to classify and understand. It wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, trees are alive. It's like, no, the water itself is also alive. The air itself is also alive, et cetera, et cetera. It would be this strange understanding of biology that we'd never encountered before. So anyway, the first part is interesting because it's engineering. Second part is a whole other debate. So, okay, I think we can keep going on. We're more than, well, we're almost half done, but okay. Let's see if it gets crazier.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, it
US,
will.
the Supreme
It will?
Oh,
dear.
probably.
Okay.
It probably will. All of these people get crazier as you go along.
Yeah, it's true.
Court found in Citizens United that a corporation was a person with similar protections under the Constitution,
Yeah,
such
which is insane.
as freedom of
Mhm.
speech, and applied similar reasoning in Hobby Lobby, finding that a corporation had the right to freedom of religion and defense
And you're doing a
against
whataboutism
implementation.
right now.
Oh.
These
Being
things
a-
are insane and crazy. Therefore, the thing I'm saying is not insane and crazy.
Oh, the Hobby Lobby thing where they wasn't that about like their business and their private property?
I'm trying to
Am I
remember.
missing something?
Yeah, I'm not fluent in American politics. I can't tell you.
Let me look that up. We can keep going.
All right. If water
Waters.
isn't sentient, then explain Moana. Yeah.
What?
Explain The Rock.
Oh, it was Hobby Lobby was it was private. They don't have to. Wow, this is such a stupid court case. Holy shit! They found that the Affordable Care Act's requirement for for-profit corporations to supply its employees with contraceptives that go against their religion is not. You can't do that. You can't force them to pay for your contraceptives.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And that means we should give rights to water.
This is what Harvard does to your brain. Harvard
Okay.
scrambles your eggs.
And it also puts you very much in debt.
The real reason why women in Mass Effect Andromeda said her face was tired is because she hadn't oppressed any water that day. Oh, Jesus. No. Water and ice, sir. There's a very big distinction, okay?
Mr.
Can't-
Freeze is a slaver.
Yeah, you can't have water. Remember, they're looking for water and ice in Andromeda. It's a very big difference.
He falsely imprisons water in the form of ice.
There you go.
That is false imprisonment.
What would you call that? There's a term for that.
The Ice Age.
Oh, dear.
Of the Affordable Care Act for its employees. Now, these are controversial cases. And as a Shinnecock woman and a legal scholar,
Wait.
They
A
make me
company paying for contraceptives, that's controversial? Don't you have money to pay for your own fucking contraceptives?
Well,
You're being paid for a job, so obviously you have money.
what's the organization that deals with those sorts of things? that is a controversial part of the, not a branch of the government, but it's part
Planned
of
Parenthood.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood. There you go.
I'm not even American. You two fucking step up. You
What?
figure it
What's
Oh.
happening?
Smud was asking what was that controversial organization that deals with contraceptives and stuff. I said Planned Parenthood.
There you go.
You'll do the
Planned
American
Parenthood
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
You're supposed to be Americans. Come on.
I thought that was already gone. I didn't know that Planned Parenthood was still a thing. Their whole thing is
I
to
don't
harvest
even-
organs and send them to China.
I don't even know if it's still a thing. I just know it was at least a thing, and it was something which was
Yeah.
controversial. But yeah,
I love every time that somebody comes at me with the with the Planned Parenthood stuff. I just read quotes by Margaret Sanger, who invented it. The most merciful thing that a family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. A free race cannot be born of slave mothers. When
anyway,
motherhood becomes the fruit of a deep yearning, not the result of ignorance or accident, its children will become the foundation of a
My-
new race.
my point was, it's not controversial that a government, like to say a company shouldn't have to pay for your fucking contraceptives.
No, but the point is that Planned Parenthood is actually a eugenics organization, and that the point is that she was upset that there were so many black people that were having kids out of wedlock that she wanted to give them the opportunity to kill the kid instead. That's what Margaret Sanger was about. That's what Planned Parenthood is based on, and that's why it's funny to me whenever people bitch about it. It's like, okay, you do whatever you want, but it's funny that this is the basis of your organization, and yet you're coming out here and saying that we don't want it to have, like, it's funny how something that the left is so excited about aligns up perfectly with like something that extreme alt-right types would want. Like, yeah, it's good. It's good that the ghetto is aborting all its kids, because then that group of people is not procreating. It's like, holy shit, that's what you're doing? Okay. Good luck.
Can water be a minority if it's 71% of the planet?
Ooh,
Jeez, I don't know,
I'm
man.
pretty sure then
I'm
humanity
mostly
would be the
water.
minority, and a minority would be oppressing all of humanity.
I'm part water myself, so if water gets representation rights, then I'm gonna be it.
You are 80% water specifically.
Yeah, exactly. I'm mixed. I'm biracial. I'm water American.
I'm 4/5 Navajo. I mean water. Okay.
It's going to get really, really silly legally to do that. So Glib, let us know when California makes water people, and we'll see how that goes.
If she walked into a court, was it like a court hearing? It says, okay, so this is the hearing for the idea to like make water to have human rights, and then look at it again and say, wait, what? Make human rights? What the fuck? And then they just everyone just starts laughing at this lady. You serious? We want to give water human rights?
I'm just thinking of the book series Dune and how much water was special because it was so rare. I don't think anyone would say, gee, you know what, we need to legally protect water. It's like, how about you don't waste it? It's so rare. What's a lawyer going to do in your tribal group of people throughout the planet? Don't think that was a thought that went through Frank Herbert's mind.
I can't wait for the court case of the state of California versus Lake Michigan or something, Lake Erie. That'll be good. That'd be good. I wonder who the body of water, who the Great Lakes are going to get to represent them in court.
Ah, this is good, guys. We need to cancel the Spartans in 300 for taking advantage of the storm that wrecked the Persian ships. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to watch School of Movies like actually actively recite, almost verbatim recite those same arguments. Like there are idiot people who believe this, exactly what you read out in your article this morning.
Yeah, I know that it's. I don't know how they take a Frank Miller comic, which is stylized to hell, like even with Sin City, or his Batman comics. It's supposed to be visceral. It's supposed to be over the top, and you have all these ridiculous people looking at this and going, "Oh, it's too violent. It's too sexual. It's too feminist. It's too sexist. It's too this and that."
Ableist.
Yeah, it's
Ableist.
insane. It's
Yeah, these people are
stupid.
crazy. Yeah, these people are crazy. And like, I just like, and the worst part of their 300 thing is basically it is designed as a parody of like what Mahler and you would do, and then they break the illusion halfway through part, like near the end, and just come out with like, this film is like freaking sexist, ableist, and disgusting.
It's like there's something that exists for a particular audience, and then they're attacking the opposite of someone who would watch that audience. It's like, no one would think this way. No one would walk into a romance expecting an action adventure or whatever. It's silly. People use these lenses like it's their only thing in life they could think of. It's like, dude, get another hobby, get another education.
Yeah. John Lemley.
There he is.
We need to cancel Paul Allen for having a watermark on his business card.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Slavery.
This one is it. Does lady have a watermark?
She better not. That's slavery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lenny
dear.
the Shark, $5. Thoughts on the racial segregation between saltwater and freshwater?
Oh, there's a
I
big
think it's
one.
something that we need to end, even if it means the total collapse of multiple ecosystems.
We dump endless amounts of salt into fresh water so everyone can be equal.
But then you're going to be killing all the rainbow trout in central Canada.
I don't care. I'm a Maoist, okay? If all the sparrows piss me off, I'm going to kill all of them and ruin and the locusts will run rampant, okay? I don't think about balance. All I think about is getting my way.
Salt water is the Karen of liquids.
The Karen of liquids.
And Lenny the Shark right underneath it, yellow snow.
Everybody remember to do a saltwater gargle every now and then. Keep it clean.
I wonder, does pith also have rights as well? That's a lot of water in that.
Look, my beer does not have rights. That's what I draw the line there, okay?
Ammonia and bilirubinol. Yep, we have rights. Damn it.
See, the thing that bothers me is that she's bringing up an issue that I totally agree with in the basis, in the abstract.
And then she's going really extreme.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's instead of being on point, like the first Native American woman to graduate some whatever the fucking shit is, Latin words. Come yum. And
what? Come some what?
She graduated as a scholar of the roads, something like that. Anyway, but she's the first Native American lady to do X or Y or Z, and she has a master's degree from here and there, whatever. And she could go to whatever tribal confederacy or organization that she's a part of that needs to improve to actually get water, or she could start a project, an Indiegogo campaign, maybe have some sort of agenda that will help to keep the uranium mines that are hurting the Navajo, not dumping their water or their waste into the water, all this stuff. But she's doing a TED Talk or whatever, and I don't know what else she does, but she wants to transform all of the justice system instead of just trying to work with anything. And that's my biggest problem with all these people is like all of these people have radical ideas and they're all distinct from each other. So if you tried to do all of them or any of them, they would interfere with any of the other ones. It's like, can you just work with what we have and see justice in the system? Like, you want to throw the baby out ironically with the bathwater.
Okay, here's
What
Bo
about
again.
Gamer Girl bathwater?
I would like to buy some. Do you have Belle Delphine's Instagram?
No,
Send it
I
to
don't
me.
think you'd want AIDS.
No. If it means that I get to simp for a girl, yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Is beer the party girl or is water?
You're the party girl, Bogue.
Mexico's got some okay beer. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, but its water's terrible. So I'll take the beer over the water. I'll take
There you go.
I'll take what's the beer that I really like?
Cervezas.
Oh, it's a dark beer. What the hell am I thinking?
Really? Dark beer? I've
Yeah,
never
they
seen a
were-
dark Mexican beer.
Negro Modelo?
Modelo,
Negro.
I know.
Yeah, Negro Modelo. That's a really good one.
Oh, I know those stubbies. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Okay.
For
cool.
Mexican beer, I really enjoy it for Modelo. It's Modelo time, way.
Cool. All right. Let's keep going.
And the moral compass of the Western world, where you can grant legal personhood to a corporation, but not nature. You see, legal personhood grants us the ability to be visible in a court of law and to have our voices heard as a person.
corporations usually
protected.
run by
Okay, so
nature, not
theoretically,
run by anybody.
if someone does something horrible against the environment, you do know that someone can still take them to court for fucking up the environment, right? Because it's still against the law, you know?
Yeah, there are lots of fines for littering. Like it's like $500.
Yeah, you can get fined for littering. Corporations get sued for fucking polluting. There are tons of shit that actually happens because, like, yeah, I suppose, could you say that the fucking environment has legal rights? Well, I suppose it's not legal rights. It's more just precautions in place to protect it.
And
Legal precautions.
she's fucking with the idea also that the Native American, like if you have a reservation area or you have tribal land, it's not necessarily the same legal system. So it's like it's all mucked up. Again, with a water metaphor, she's muddying the waters.
All right, I'm not not sure what the VTubers are. Glib, sim for the VTubers instead. They are
YouTubers are
2D anime girls,
yeah,
basically.
virtual, like they create virtual avatars, and that's what they play as.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know, like that's what was it, like Anime Singer Girl? Those concerts.
Well, that's like several years old. I know those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very similar concept.
All right. Okay. I know there were a bunch of things on Twitter. Whenever something starts up and someone is against that, they have these things called stands, and they take Asian singers and musicians and throw them in the way of the hashtag. That I've seen a lot of, but not VTubers recently, at least.
Yeah,
It's
just
under the law.
YouTubers pretend, or people or streamers just trying to they have an anime avatar.
That's fairly common though. That's in every social media, so it's not.
No. I mean, like they actually have it. It's like generated to their face. It moves around. It looks around.
Oh, okay. All right.
Live. It uses, I think it's Face Rig is the software.
Very cool. Interesting. Okay. So salty water and fresh water is free and able to do anything they want, but no one is talking about heavy water, the true oppressed minority here. When you think of heavy water, I think of water that's mineralized or is part of a nuclear fission plant.
Well, you're just fat shaming water by calling it heavy water, and that is incredibly offensive. We should call it. Fuck, I have another name. I'm trying to think of something that means heavy, but it doesn't mean heavy at the same time.
Large water.
But
dense
water of dense persuasion.
I just call it fat water from now on.
Yeah, just call it fat.
Fat water.
Marxism is bandit raid looting. We seek moral justification or gang rape. 9/10 Marxism don't believe other right to know like rape. Wow.
Marxism is bandit raid looting seek moral justification or gang rape. 9 out of 10 Marxists don't believe other right to not like. I don't even know how to do this. Is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know.
Help me out, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What are you talking about?
You're my only hope
for understanding what you said.
What is $8?
Australian.
Oh,
Armenian.
Australian, I think.
Australian,
yeah. Australians have dollars.
All right. Well, try again in the chat without payment. We'll try it out again for you there, Obi-Wan. Are photos taken underwater considered nudes? Ooh. Oh my. That's kind of.
Well, water never wears clothes, so I guess they're nudists.
Yeah, unless they.
Oh my. She says, writer. John.
I just pictured Mr. Takei in a speedo of some sorts underwater. So,
I'm just looking at this super chat. She says that water.
I don't think we should read it. No, just let it sit there for a while. People can read it themselves. It's
no,
right
I want to read it. I want to read that George Takei's voice. Why not?
Fine. Only in George Takei's voice.
She says that water deserves rights, but bathwater gets to be inside Rihanna in a way that we never will be. Oh Bye.
Okay.
I wish
Thank you,
I
John.
was
That's
was a
fantastic, people.
YouTuber. I would watch all of his videos all the time.
I'm cool with not being inside Rihanna. That's cool.
Rihanna is a very cool lady, though. My brother met her. She's pretty neat. So
Nice, yeah.
Well, I've met Steve Backshall. Fuck you.
okay, okay, Shiny. Don't call it water. Call it moisture supplement. What? What is that? A supplement.
It's the word
Maybe
water
that's
is
because
offensive.
like
Water
actor of
is
color
slave
thing
name.
rather than just
How is water a supplement for moisture?
I'm gonna give
It
you.
is moisture.
I'm gonna give you a moisture supplement, baby.
Oh boy.
Joe Crazy. Joe Crazy.
John, you like one of your French
your
speeches.
Is that the impressionist beach or the cubist beach? What would you like there?
Yeah. I don't know.
Alrighty. Fantastic. I can't we got so much comedy out of this ridiculous video. I didn't think we were going to cover it all.
Yeah, we've got so many super chats from this.
I'm surprised there haven't been a water is wet joke already.
Oh, we've had a few of those.
Oh, we've had
We've
those.
got tons.
You just forgot about it because all those memories.
I'm trying to forget about it.
All those memories vanished like tears in the rain. There's another water joke.
I think this is corrupting.
And so if
his
you
brain.
can grant that to a corporation, why not the Great Lakes?
Because that's stupid.
Because there is no way for them to speak for themselves unless they're owned by a private owner who could feasibly pollute them.
Well, that's a good point. When you talk about endangered species or resources, as soon as a corporation takes it, they preserve the hell out of it. They make sure it's clear and pure, and if they're in the chicken industry or whatever, they make sure their chickens are well fed, well stocked. They're never going to die out. Like they make sure of this. That's their business. That's their money maker. Same with salmon. Same with plants, animals, anything, any resource. They are obsessed about getting the best quality. So
Cattle
imagine-
and bitches.
imagine if, I don't know, like a crazy billionaire bought the Great Lakes. You're like, wow. Can you imagine how clean those things would be? How protected they'd be? That'd be amazing.
I just am sad that we have to still talk about clean water. I wish that this problem would just be solved so I wouldn't have to hear from this woman.
Boo, Glib, you don't get to make Blade Runner references. Why? What's wrong with that?
You don't get to make Blade. I get to make all the Blade Runner references.
Yeah,
'cause-
Evan. I haven't seen Evan in months. I don't know what he's doing, but he's always in love with Blade Runner, and I've never, he's never said one before. Why not? Why can't Glib make him?
Yeah.
Because
the man's
Glib
jobs.
is a damn dirty cowboy. He does not get made to get references in things outside of his genre.
All right.
I'm Deckard, Blade Runner, 26354, filed and monitored.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Why not the Mississippi River? Why not the many waterways
You
across
do
our
realize they're
planet?
protected, right? It is protected. You can't just fuck with it.
Tyler Preston, Shiny. What's malding, and why is it used as an insult? Okay, what is malding, Shiny?
I know someone who's going bald, I believe.
Malding?
I believe it's someone who's getting bald. But I don't know. I the only context I've heard it in it is molding middle-aged man. Is like in terms of like that, losing their hair, like fucking Patrick Stewart, like his hair's
Oh.
reclining.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
been balding or malding for like 60 years now.
It means it's a combination of mad and bald.
Oh,
Or like balding, so you're molding. So
okay.
it's both mad and balding.
Maybe, yeah.
Wow.
Don't know. Never heard it before.
Maybe
This is-
someone can correct me.
Yeah, please do. This is most funny stream I have watched. Really? This is weird. Next, someone
haven't
will
watched that.
marry water and then have a divorce. Yeah, I can see that happening in Japan or something.
Oh my god!
Just wonder how the custody battles would be. Oh dear.
Did you get like half the planet?
I married the Mississippi and then I divorced her 2 years later.
I now own half the fucking river.
Joke's on her. I got the kids.
What?
Yeah.
Well, there is a movie called Water Babies. Maybe this woman secretly went back in time and inspired it.
I just want this woman to use all of her wisdom and all of her power to go and fight for actual good water. You know what I mean? That's a good cause. Like, if you could stop people from having dirty water, and that doesn't seem too far-fetched, does it? Doesn't that seem like something we should be able to solve in 2020 or
like this is a
2040
good
or whatever?
this is a good point by Occupation R, because there are people or organizations or corporations that make bottled water, and they use specific kinds of water. So they buy that part of the land, whether it's mountain water or well water, and they make it a resource. It's very important to their business. The same thing with oil and gas and every mineral and everything else.
I like Cool Beans' comment. Why are we still talking about pollution? COVID-19 is coming out.
So Nestle in the area near me had a expired permit to siphon water from Strawberry Creek, basically. And they were bottling water on an expired permit. And it's like, 27 years of expired permits. They've been bottling this water since 1988. And it's like, that's how bad the government oversight is on this? That we can't stop or get money from them siphoning off the water? What if we took all the money that Nestle should have been paying or whatever to get water so that they could sell it and use that money to go help build new water systems wherever we needed to? But
similar
people
to
are
the
just
story.
I'm sorry, Sven, I was just gonna say I don't understand this. Well, I do understand, but I'm very disappointed to learn that like our collective humanity at this time period is still this incompetent. Like, we think we're all great because we're on the internet and shit, and because we have cell phones and stuff, and we can't even notice this kind of stuff, or it's on purpose, and we're corrupted. We got to take that sweet water money,
or both.
That
Or both,
reminds
probably
me
both.
of the story. I think a few years ago in India, it was either Coca-Cola or Pepsi or what. Some of the soft drink companies were using the majority of the water for their own bottles or their own products, which was hurting the local villages.
Yeah, and
Like,
and there's it reverses too, because in Escondido, that's where they make the Stone Brewery has their beer brewery. Obviously, I don't know why I pronounced it like that, but they found that the water quality was too low for them to create beer out of, and so what they did was they made their own water filtration system, like a giant industrial size one. And the San Diego, like, people around there were impressed by it. They're like, wow, you guys did all of that. The government can't do what a beer, like a large scale version of what this brewery did. Like, it's this, the ability for Stone, which makes a really good product. And then they also merchandise out and make condiments now and all sorts of stuff. They have the ability to get this stuff together, but government, because of how it's operating, can't figure it out. And the solution that this woman comes up with has nothing to do with any of this. Nothing to do with any of the details. Nothing to do with putting together a team to actually fix the problem. It's all about giving rights to water.
Well, eventually
water
Elon
itself.
Musk is going to want to do something with water, because what has he solved? His own electricity problems. He has his own mine for lithium. He's, people are building roads.
Elon Musk is a
underground.
fucking hack. For a start.
He's going to hack the planet, man. This is great. Water problems. Wait, can't we just make our own water? Like, oh, how do
I'm
you do
going to
that?
develop a space elevator to get water from the moon. That's
Yeah.
Like, the amount of shit Elon Musk pulls out of his ass, and then half of it doesn't even come true. It's just throwing things at a wall and seeing what sticks half the
He's
time.
got to do that.
Like the
He's got-
hyperloop. The hyperloop was something which was hyped forever and then constantly just being put down all the time because it kept failing. It was a physical, you'd have to break the laws of physics for it to work.
Yeah.
And then, like, because that failed, like, and then people hype that up and then they just throw it to the side. And then
they
when
love,
it comes
they
to
love their
fucking
Tesla, though.
electronic cars, you do realize they use more energy than a fucking petrol car, right? Because storing the actual energy itself is very inefficient, especially with lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah, but how
So
much
in
smug
order
do
to-
they make? How much smug do they
They make a
generate?
lot of smug, But the problem is with electric cars, you are actively using more energy because lithium-ion batteries are incredibly inefficient in storing energy. And the amount you have to have in your fucking car to actually make it to last a reasonable amount of time adds a lot of weight, which means you have to use more power to move the fucking car in the first place. To the point where you have these really heavy combustible cars, which explode, and then once, lithium is on fire, it doesn't go out very easily.
What did happen? Interesting though, and if you look at the economics of Tesla, like it used to be close to 1,000. I think it was over 1,000 a few weeks ago. They just split one to 5 this week. So people are buying Tesla, knowing that there's going to be no return in 2022, and even projected that there's going to be no return because people believe in the company so much and love the product so much. When everyone else is predicting it's not going to do well, it's been breaking expectations. Which even I'm not going to touch Tesla. I'm not going to buy a car. I'm not going to invest in it.
Right.
But just the fact that people love it for whatever reason, and there's so much support behind it, whether it's car manufacturers or car people themselves or just investors, people like this thing. So he's doing something right, at least on 2 fronts, which is SpaceX and Tesla. Everything else, I don't know. I have no idea.
That's because everything else doesn't fucking work. Like, he has tried so many things that it's all just mostly fucking stupid. And then people just forget about all the stupid things. SpaceX is the only... SpaceX is the only thing that's possibly came out of fucking Elon Musk that's actually good. And then Tesla, again, as just explained, with lithium-ion batteries being very inefficient and end up causing more energy than you're usually using a petrol car. But things like self-driving cars, it's like, yeah, you now have a car that drives itself, but you can't really use that legally because you still have to be at the wheel half the time. You may as well just be driving yourself.
Are you saying I can't take a nap in my Tesla?
Yes, because that's still illegal.
But it's powered by the future.
We're going to get self-driving cars eventually, Shiny. It's just a matter of time.
Well, no, I think Tesla cars drive themselves at this point, but the problem is you still have to be behind the wheel to actually to make the Tesla car drive. Otherwise, it's illegal. You can't just let it drive itself while you have a nap.
Sure. But again, we'll get to the point where we won't have to. This is all necessary baby steps. So.
And are we going to forget about the fucking Cybertruck? How much of a shit show that was? Like, oh yeah, we have bulletproof windows. Hits a window and it smashes. And then how much they very quickly hid the Tesla truck under the rug because it was an absolute failure.
It's the same with SpaceX. How many rockets blew up in their face?
Yeah, all those failures just kind of get swept under the rug.
No, they don't.
You need to fail on the way there to get to the success.
Yeah, that's how business works. The thing is, he gets the money first from the government, and then he starts playing around. He's like, "Oh, this is smart."
That's why he's clever.
Here's John Lumley. The Shape of Water has even bigger meaning now. I haven't seen the film. I don't know what that means.
I wouldn't just so we can keep going with the video. I wouldn't really usually condone.
It's the Guillermo del Toro fish sex movie.
Oh boy, really?
Yep.
Oh yeah, the fucking really weird thing. But anyway, just to end so we can keep going.
All right.
Thunderthought has some very good videos on Elon Musk. He got some very insightful ones. I'd recommend watching him.
Let's do some super.
Just don't watch his political videos. He's a very SJW at some point.
No, I haven't watched him in years, so it's no big deal.
Yeah.
John, let me again. Imagine telling Daniel Plainview that his oil has rights now, and he's been oppressing it. Yeah, that would. Liquid hydrocarbons. I don't know. Is that still water? I don't think so. Different race of liquid there. I think different category.
Another.
Nuclear fusion could be the greatest source of modern energy ever, but of course, Reddit man deserves government support to break his car window. Huh. That's two very different ideas.
Probably designed.
No, I love reading about nuclear fusion. It's all kinds of wonderful techniques of doing it, and lasers and centrifuges and all sorts of cool stuff. Come on, Shani. I know you want the Cybertruck. I like the design personally. I think it's cool.
It's a really stupid look.
Questions. Why protect wild rhinos if domesticated rhinos can be farmed? And what can you eat? Rhino's meat or drink rhino's milk? Other animals can be domesticated.
EFAP.
I don't
Rhino
know the
milk,
validity. Yeah, I've never had rhino meat before. I don't know how.
It's no. Rhinos are protected species. You can't eat them. It's illegal to eat them.
But I want to know
It's
what the big deal.
EFAP.
Still, I
a
see
meme.
something that moves, I could eat it. So I'm curious what they taste like.
Yeah.
So
And
Don't
our
mind me.
resident degenerate Vogue. Thunderfoot isn't an SJW. He just has TDS.
this is also true. A lot of people on Twitter or social media can depict TDS. It's one thing to laugh at your world leaders for good reason. It's another to bash on them for everything they do. So even I know Trudeau is not a complete clown all the time. Just when he's in office.
No, sometimes he forgets to put on the blackface makeup.
That's
He's a
And
full clown.
obviously because you're Smud Trudeau, his secret evil brother.
Smudde.
Smudo.
Trudeau.
Yeah. When you lose your keys, it's Trudeau's fault. It's like
We know Smudboy is a secret agent of the Cuban government sent to protect
Cuban
Trudeau.
government.
Also, everyone in Hollywood who loses their keys, it's Trump's fault. They drink too much and they kind of pass out and kind of hang over in the morning. Trump's fault. Everything is just Trump's fault all the time.
Tourism and trade for Canadians was fantastic going to Cuba in the 80s because it's cheaper. The flights were a lot lower. The development there was great for tourism. So it still is, but now that they opened it up, I don't know how it's gone.
Yeah,
But-
my family went down there for a little bit because they were part of some project.
Yeah.
They were part of the film, like one of the first people that came over to do some films work over there.
Oh yeah.
That was really interesting, but you don't want to live there. You don't want to have to drive around in one of those cars that was built in the 1600s.
Exactly. Yeah, it's lots of poverty. So strange to go to a resort where you're going through like pigsties and villages, and all of a sudden, boom, resort hotel with clean pools and roast suckling pigs. It's like, wow, what happened?
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff down there, though. You know what I mean, like that culture, but it's a little depressing.
Lots of AK-47s walking around. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Lemley, why does Trudeau need blackface when he already is a minority thanks to Fidel? Good question.
I love that conspiracy. That's one of my favorites.
It's so funny because all you do is take a photo of Fidel and you take a photo of Trudeau younger, and you're like, oh boy, yeah, can't argue that.
Oof, oof, oof.
It's a hard argument to make. It's just, oof. I'm sure you could do a Google image search if you're curious, guys. But go ahead if you're curious.
That we all depend on to survive. We know we are in a global climate crisis, but globally, our waters are also threatened, and we are
Why wouldn't that
facing
be
a
part
global.
of it? You don't think that global warming has to do with water? What is the ice cap then?
This is kind of like making food not legal, but like giving it out to everyone. Like everyone gets bread, everyone gets free water. It's like, okay, right, sure. Is this a real important thing though?
There's a law that in California, I think that if you are like a restaurant and you have water, then you have to serve it to somebody that asks for it.
Really?
I believe. Yeah, I think that that's the case. And so it's not like people are, there's spigots all over the place. The thing is that the right to clean water as a human right, that should be something that's supplied by whoever's in charge of the government. And if they don't have that together, or they don't have the money, then you got to figure out a way to get it. I just don't see that kind of proactive behavior here. This is just, I'm going to complain and make it all about everything, and then we need to change everything. Why don't we just have a global waterist collective? It's like, what? No. Why did you just throw out everything so that you could do what? Like, what is the point here?
What if we aligned our
ultimately gonna get
society
at?
along the lines of the lobsters?
Don't get me started, Jordan Peterson. Everybody, by the way, where is Jordan Peterson? We haven't found him. His daughter kidnapped him and may be trying to kill him. We don't know where he is. He may be somewhere in Serbia. If you can find Jordan Peterson, tell him Glib is looking for him. I'll save him. I'll fly
He's
out
been
there.
quiet for months. The latest report was
he's got coronavirus, didn't he?
He has
No, he doesn't have coronavirus. He's just being tortured by his daughter.
Too much meat, Dad. Have more steak.
He got put into a coma in Russia for 6 days straight and then had brain damage from it. And now there's a video of him on Instagram that's put out where he's playing with a remote control car or something, and his daughter's like, "Look at how happy he is," and he looks miserable. There's something really weird going on.
He always looks miserable. That's his natural state of affairs. John Lemley, LA mayor is oppressing water by not letting it be accessed in places that don't follow rules that aren't written into law.
Well, he said,
Yeah.
Garcetti said that if you have a gathering of over 10 people, he's threatening to cut off electricity and water. And I don't think that he can do that. And I don't think that he's done it yet. So I'm not sure that that's actually going to happen. I think that that's just another one of these threats that people are putting out there. Like, you know, if you don't stay inside, then I'm going to send the police to your house. It's like, oh no, thank you for saving me from myself and being able to breathe without a mask on. That's great.
Jordan Peterson was really abducted by that's
By his water.
the Great Lakes took him.
I wish. Then maybe he'd have some peace.
He'd be
the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
He needs a vacation from himself.
I don't know. He seems like a nice guy, but there's lots of hoopla over him the past few years that I think, you know what? I think we'd be happier if this didn't happen.
Yeah,
he just wrote his 1 or 2 books in peace, and that was that. But no, you had to put his foot down, and I'm glad he did, because in Toronto, it's still pretty crazy with the pronouns and the forced speech. I've never encountered a problem with it because there's no one's going to enforce it. It's stupid. There's no grammar police running around. But to imagine getting a call from someone, calling the police, oh, someone's calling me a bad name that I don't like. It's like, what? Excuse me? It's not going to happen. It's not going to cause police to get off their ass. Okay, let's keep going.
Water crisis. And if we want to address these crises in our lifetime, we need to change. We need to fundamentally transform the way in which we value water. And this is not something new for us as Indigenous peoples. Our Indigenous legal systems have a foundational principle of understanding our non-human relations as being living and protected under our laws. And even for the Western world, environmental legal theorists have argued for the rights of nature since the 1970s. But we need to do better. We need to change. And we need to grant legal personhood to water because it affords the following rights and protections. It grants water the right to exist.
Okay. I don't think you control the weather patterns, lady. Unless you want to do some seeding of clouds and cause it to be wet in certain areas that aren't wet, I don't... Like, what are you getting at here? Protection from pollutants. Isn't that the environment in general, not just water? Human-caused climate change impacts, that's not even measurable. Man-made contamination, that is measurable. Okay.
Flourish and naturally evolve. And most of all, it protects the water from us, from human beings that would do it harm, from human-caused climate change impacts, from pollutants, and from man-made contamination. Moreover, it reverses the accepted hierarchy of humanity's domination over nature. As
I don't think that'll ever happen, but okay. Joe Crazy, a fish from SpongeBob. This is a load of barnacles. This is a load. I don't know a load of what though. It's part mysticism, part legal, part eco-friendly. I don't know.
Part weirdness.
Yeah, I'm trying not to, give her any negative terms here, but it's just like, where are you going? I get that you want to preserve nature, but this is not how you do it. Redefining the classification of water as an entity or a living entity is kind of like, then what? What do you do with that? You can't say Lake Superior is alive, is an entity that we must protect. And if it is, then there'll be no fisheries. No one would own it. There'd be no boats. Nothing.
Also, overpopulation of fish would also cause the water to go bad.
Any dominant species, yeah, you couldn't affect it. You wouldn't be able to fix it. It would be like, nope, that's nature. You can't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have protected land masses with waters in them, which we don't touch. But that's like far away from civilization for that express purpose, because we don't want to destroy any of those land masses. We don't want to touch them. We don't want to use them for resources. So that's already been achieved in parts of Canada or parts of Ontario, at least I know. So, as
Human beings on this planet, we are not superior to other beings on this planet.
I don't know. I think humans are pretty superior.
Yeah, we built quite a few long-lasting structures. Also, like, water is not a thing; it is not a being; it's an element.
By her logic, wouldn't rain dances be a form of oppression of water? I don't know. That would be a form of
elemental appropriation.
I'm trying to think of that. It would be like protesting, and the government, which is the clouds, doesn't care. It's just like, I'm still going to keep raining. I shut up.
I thought the raining was meant to bring the rain down.
Right. The clouds don't care if you're dancing or not. They'll keep releasing their moisture or releasing their density.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, if we're going with this asinine logic that water deserves personhood, we're going with the thing of clouds are actively peeing on us.
Yeah.
Come on, there's only 4 minutes left. We can get through this, then we go to the funny one.
Let's keep going.
We are not superior to the water itself.
Yes, we are.
We have to learn how to be good
Technically,
stewards.
we're
again.
part water, so that makes us superior to water because we have all the advantages of water.
And a whole bunch of other things.
Yes. We are water plus.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when a naturalist looks at the environment, they don't see it as a like, hey, you are 50 parts chromium, you are 30 parts this or that. It's like, no. Nature is nature. We're all the same. It's like, well, no, there's hierarchies in nature. There's reasons why things are the way they are.
A fox is not the same level as a rabbit. Neither is a mouse or a blade of grass.
There's a food pyramid. There's all these things. Yeah. So everything is neatly balanced on top of itself after billions of years of evolution. So there's hierarchies in nature. What does she think superior means? In what way am I not superior? Yeah. Hard to say.
Depends on how you classify it, really.
A biologist would be very mechanical in that observation and explanation. So to her, it's all spiritual. Smud, the clouds are moist. Dunn, the clouds piss on us. Yeah. Okay. Dunn has a way with words, okay?
We often imagine that the world is filled with infinite water. In fact, it's not. This planet,
no, it's filled with
Mother
a
Earth,
hell of a lot of water.
Yeah, we can filter salt water. It's just a longer process, but we can do it. So we're not going to run out of water, guys. It's okay.
has very finite freshwater resources. Currently, nearly 2 billion people live in countries experiencing high water stress.
For
It is
very
also
complex
estimated that-
economic, environmental reasons. For very complex, economic, complicated reasons.
The clouds are R. Kelly confirmed. What?
I guess he's a pisser or something.
I guess. Is that the reference?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know who R. Kelly is.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that reference there. We didn't get it.
By 2030, up to 700 million people could be displaced worldwide due to water scarcity. We have to address this crisis. And so it's time for us to
What's your
change.
qualification for that? Could you please maybe show us a reference or where you're getting this from? Your
if
qualifications,
you're-
or who the fuck are you?
If your city,
A survey or something.
if your city, whether you're in a metropolis or a town or a village, doesn't get clean water, you're going to move really quickly. You're going to adapt very, very quickly. So I don't know what's going on in these reservations for the Native Americans, but if they haven't left yet, that's their choice. These are very simple things that immigrants do all the time. They don't have the right conditions for living and prospering, they move. Very simple. There's dozens of reasons why you do this.
Well, I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's definitely possible.
It's a simple solution. You
It's
go
a simple
elsewhere.
solution, but it's not just moving isn't simple in itself. There's lots of things you got to think about. Yeah, it's a complex process, but it is a solution.
Like
It's
if
a
your
very
water
simple
supply
solution.
is poisoned for a week, that is cause for alarm. Like your real estate value just dropped. You're like, oh crap, now what do I do? Where do I go? How do I eat and drink? I can't live here anymore unless this is solved immediately. And this has not been going on as a solution to Flint or other places. So very basic stuff here. We have to address this crisis, does a TED Talk. Yeah, I know. She's kind of doing this weird mysticism, wishy-washy legal thing. And this is all TED Talks, though. It's always like, oh, there's a problem going to happen in 2050 when all the oil in the world is gone. It's like, no.
The logo behind TED, I just see it as a big Pokeball.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it does look like a poke. We need to address this crisis, does a TED Talk. Yeah. Pretty much. Proton Stalker, Immortan Joe. Do not, my friends, become addicted to water.
Okay.
Come on, we can do
We have to
this.
transform
Ah,
the way in which we value water. And we can do that. We can learn to be good stewards again. We can create laws through which we grant legal personhood to water. We can start to honor the original treaties between indigenous peoples and non-indigenous peoples for water protection. We can appoint guardians for the water that ensure the water's rights
Water
are always protected.
Guardians.
Hi, I'm Brad Cullen, and in this video, I'm going to show you how anyone can quickly and easily create doodle videos, just like the one you're watching right
Doodle
now,
videos.
using Doodly. Our dragon...
what the hell is that?
You can make videos
can
too,
also-
like me, using Doodly. This video is sponsored by Doodly. Doodly do.
Oh.
Oh, R. Kelly. Oh, okay, I remember this story. Was a very fairly popular rapper from the late 90s, early 2000s who was jailed for urinating on a minor. Okay.
Ooh.
So I guess water is a sex pest, I guess.
Oh dear. I'm very interested in this water guardianship.
3 minutes, come on, 3 minutes.
Holistic approaches to water preservation, dismantle exclusive water ownership. What? Exclusive water ownership? Like,
Can I not own a bottle of water? I mean, I paid for a bottle of water. Can't I own it because I bought it and I want to drink it?
so we don't give them our municipalities to control. We give them to no one. I don't get it.
This is
So
just
develop water quality standards that have a holistic approach that ensure the well-being of the water before our human needs.
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
Wow.
I mean,
What?
the
Water
well-being of the
before
water is
human
dumb,
needs.
but the idea of having it clean water is a good idea. But like,
Yeah,
why is it
obviously
so
not
worded?
having clean, unpolluted water, yes, but putting water before human needs?
Wow. Water's only
Okay, look,
dumb
it's
because
maybe
humans
giving
need
her
it.
the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's talking about like pleasantries, but needs is a very specific word. As in, if you need something, it's usually because you need something. It's
Yeah.
very important.
Okay, so this is like, imagine like taking up all the reserves of a well for a village. Like the village needs the water. The well goes dry. They find another supply, right?
Mhm.
Or the village gets disbanded and they go elsewhere, which usually happens. So that's just how resources work. They get consumed. There's nothing left. You go elsewhere to get them. No, we got to preserve the well. Why? It doesn't do anything. It just sits there.
I doth declare manifest destiny upon the water people.
Yeah, there's a whole tribe of Native Americans who are water tribe or something like that, and they just go around just taking water away from like whoever has it.
Like
I
there's
love-
just random kids just like drinking some bottled water, and all of a sudden they just slap the kid and take the bottled water. It's like, what are you, some kind of fucking water bigot?
I love, like, there's been a couple of things like, how is the audience not laughing their butts off? They must be paid not to laugh
Like,
at this crap.
like everyone with the water bottle in the audience is like, "Oh, am I oppressing someone here?
This is a problem here.
Am I doing it wrong? What's going on? What about the rights of deserts? They have. Oh God.
Sand. I love sand. It has rights.
Sand has rights.
Yeah, sand is a precious resource, you know. We make glass out of it.
Yeah.
And we eat, and a bunch of, what are they called? people who eat inanimate object, like eat like weird household products.
Really? They eat like
They eat
chairs and tables.
They eat like stuff like toilet paper, tissue paper. I think it's
Wow.
pica, I think pica or something like that.
Oh, you can make it's a material for building, yeah, but it's not edible, I don't think.
Well, it's like weird. There are some people that like. There's actually a legit human who like eats glass. Like he breaks glass and eats it.
Why?
Well, he probably has internal bleeding.
Somehow he's still alive. They did tests on him after he ate some.
Okay, I gotta say this one. From the makers of The Last of Us 2, behold bigot bottles.
Oh, pica. Oh, it is pica. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Pike is an eating disorder.
Yeah.
I remember that. The eating disorder that makes you want to eat inanimate object.
Really?
Oh, eat stuff other than food.
Yes. Eat an edible object, sorry.
Yeah.
Dear God. Okay. Well, that's news to
Joe-
me.
Well,
Sure. Yeah, there was a whole thing about it on the news. It was mainly like stuff like 2014-ish. It's kind of like
I'll be honest, the only reason why I know about Piker is because it was part of a Johnson joke in a Pokemon bootleg game.
okay. Joe crazy. Let go, my friends. Let's become spirit guardians. May Neptune guide our water bending.
I don't mind the idea of having people that are specialists in preserving something. That makes sense.
Water law.
But not some sort of wishy-washy spiritual swami who goes around with a cane and something and has to protect inanimate resources from people who want to consume them. That does, like, what is that? All you do is you make a reservation, says no one's allowed here, done. Preserved. That's all you need. You don't go around testing the water is now 0.01 pH higher than yesterday. Oh no, we gotta do it all over. Or whatever the standards are.
Yeah, Cool Beans just pointed something out. What the fuck is that dress?
You know what? Whatever tribe she's a part of, I have no idea.
I don't think that's traditional. I think that's something else.
If water gets rights, does it get policed by us, or is that oppression, or do they self-police? Oh dear.
Does it technically count as another species?
This is one of the dumbest things we have watched yet. It's not one of the worst.
I don't know.
but it's one
There
of the
definitely been
dumbest.
some of the videos we've watched. At least there is some kind of. This is just an extremist idea of what we'd already agree with, like not polluting water, but it's just taken to an extreme.
Yeah, it's just really weird to listen to. We're like, I guess this is an idea. I guess you could try and fight for this, but no one's going to listen to you, you crazy person.
Also, not understanding that there is already measurements in place to protect water.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got 3 minutes left. Let's keep going.
And moreover,
The
we
phrase
can work to
"Dopian pool" is a phrase.
Yep.
dismantle exclusive property ownership over water.
They have that already.
And there are amazing, successful examples of this around the world.
Yeah, that don't involve your cockamamie idea of granting rights to bodies of water. Robert Shipman was our role model all along, and yet we crucified him. The first consumer deserves. You know what? If we're talking about water, I guess we would all be first consumers. You know,
Yes.
we're just cannibals. We're just crazy.
Criminal imagination.
Do Super Soaker fights count as World War? Oh my God, that would be like using people as ammunition.
Or bones as ammunition.
Oh yeah.
Joe
Wonderful.
Crazy.
The water will self-police by utilizing its mermaid warriors. Warriors, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think they would it would be using like bones as bullets, like bone fragments as bullets.
Oh dear.
Whanganui River in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and the Ganges River in India were both granted legal personhood in 2017.
Really?
And even this
Really?
Really?
Legal personhood.
You know what's funny about that is that the Ganges River is one of the most polluted in the world. So, you know, there's so many pictures on Google that are like people bathing next to the decaying corpses of cows because it's actually part of a tradition to use that river as like a river of the dead to put your dead out there. So there are dead bodies floating around where people clean themselves on the banks of it. It's just disgusting. So its personhood is diseased and it needs to go to the hospital.
The Ganges River, considered sacred by more than 1 billion Indians, has become the first non-human entity in India to be granted the same legal rights as people.
I don't know what that means. What does that actually mean? That you can't take a shit on it?
You're putting dead bodies in it. Dead bodies is worse than feces, I would think.
There's probably some feces in dead bodies as well.
Funny thing, no. You know, when you die, your bowels loosen.
Yeah.
Let's go back to
erection.
I think we need to take away the rights of humans and give them all to the waters.
I think it's kind of funny. The same people who would who argue for this would say, "Oh, it's so spiritual and wonderful to give water the same rights as human beings," and say, "Well, America's evil because they don't do that. America's evil because they don't protect the water supply by giving it human rights." Or many times the same people who say, "Oh, you're just a religious fanatic because you think abortion is evil."
This is I have to read this because this is so strange. I didn't know this is a thing. So I got to do some research. I'm really impressed that that's a thing, and this is where she got this idea.
Oh gosh.
So I'm a little flabbergasted, but I'll get back to my research later. But let's just keep going so we don't kill ourselves here. I want to see a water version of Dawn of Man. That's funny. Pardon. Imagine Dawn of Man with water.
Yeah. Never seen it. I'll have to take a look now.
Oh boy.
year, the residents of the city of Toledo recognized the legal personality of Lake Erie. And right here
Really?
in California, the Yurok tribe granted legal personhood to the Klamath River. You see, I imagine a world where we value water as a living relation,
Why?
where we work
what?
to restore
Oh my God.
our connection
Poisoning
to
water
water.
is terrorism. Love is the answer. You can't drink oil. You can't drink oil. I think that's pretty self-evident.
Yeah, but you can burn it to clean your water that's dirty because you fucked up. Or somebody else fucked up. This is so ridiculous. But yeah, I believe in living water and earth and air. And but I believe in death for humans. Die, all you humans! Puny humans, die! No,
Yeah,
The thing is, water is only useful because we drink it. It is not useful in and of itself.
yeah. The only reason why water is life is because water gives us life. If water didn't give us life, then it's fucking useless. It literally does nothing else other than giving life to other things.
As women, we are water carriers.
What?
We nurture water in our wombs for 9 months.
What?
It's the
Yeah,
first
men,
medicine that
no
each
water
of
in
us
men.
What?
Men are just dust. And
What?
Oh,
What are you talking about?
we hit the 10-minute mark, so we're in the insane part.
Oh, the last 2 minutes.
She had to get to the thing, right? She brought in racism earlier. Now she had to get into the feminism.
No. Okay, so what she's talking about is pregnancy. The womb fills up with water in pregnancy. Is that even?
Oh,
I don't even know if that's,
no.
like, water, and then that means that they carry water within them. And
Because placenta, women are water carriers, guys.
Oh my God.
No water in men at all.
I also want to point out that not all women have given birth.
Also, it's we brought in the wombs. We haven't had wombs in a while, but I'll in a video. Now we have wombs.
It's a shame we're not on LitDev stream, but we don't have the wombs emoji.
Oh god. The wombs are coming. Oh god. All right, women carry water. Thank you for that. great,
Mango Freak pointed out something very funny. So in Spanish, water is male. Just saying.
I didn't know that. They had a
See, I told you.
There are species which have also species. There are languages which have gendered terms.
Yeah.
Like Spanish is one of them.
Yeah, I
And
told you. You didn't believe me, but I told you. I told you
So-
Spanish is male.
certain objects have certain gendered, like
Like
him and her, and
Sure, yeah.
he and she.
like computers are masculine, for example. in
Hamburgers are female.
Spanish. So
Well,
I guess
no, it depends on the language. I think more modern things are not always as gendered as other words. Like I think cheese or something is. I'd have to look it up specifically. I know German and French might have that. I just studied German and French a long time ago. I can't remember any of it.
DB-DU5L. Did that water consent to be drank? Godly.
Yeah, I still want to know what this legal thing means. I want to know how that's changed India. Like that's a pretty big river. So I'm like, what did that do to the water quality?
What did it do? Period. Like, what effects does it have? Like,
We're going to declare war on homelessness.
Guys, women breaking water is really rape against water. If you think of, oh
God, it
My
imprints water in your
brains.
body, and then it finally releases it.
oh dear,
But
Let's
anyway, let's keep going with this sanity.
this is too silly.
As human beings is exposed to.
What?
See, we are all born as human beings with a natal connection to water. But somewhere along the way, we lost that connection.
What?
And we have
It's called being born. What are you talking about?
What do you mean we lose a connection? We always need water. All human beings need water. All of us, every single. What connection are you on about? Clarify and define what the fuck you're talking about. A connection to water that we lose.
to work to restore it. Because I imagine a world in which water is healthy and ecosystems are thriving. I imagine
You
a
can imagine that
world.
all you want. Imagination isn't going to fucking fix shit.
also, you are trying to go about your way in one of the most insane ways possible.
You know, if we give water individuality and we give it human rights, that means it's going to become a person and it's going to be able to get its shit together. Do you hear that, water? Get your fucking shit together.
Oh, VLX said something really funny. When will Jarble the Hutt pioneer recognition of rights for boulders?
Boulders are people too, guys.
Oh, man.
Oh boy,
Thank you, chat.
that's pretty good. I'm just imagining him with like a baby carriage with his kids. He's like, no, kids, you're too old to be in the carriage. It's boulder time.
Let's keep going.
Where each of us takes up our right of responsibility as water citizens and protects water.
Okay.
So, in the words of Nokomis,
Who?
what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do for the water? Well, you can call your local politician. You can go to a town meeting.
Hey, Senator, you know,
We should grant legal personhood to such and such. Like,
Yeah, I believe we should give personhood and legal rights, human rights to water.
because
you
Because the lady said that one day water will be worth more than gold.
okay.
You drank the seawater, didn't you?
Yeah, we're living in a post scarcity environment. It's like, wait a second, where's all this water coming from? It must be protected from itself. There's too much water. We want to start drinking water.
Lenny the shark.
Boulder Gate. Oh, okay, that's silly. That's
You-
just
You, Joker.
Watergate is already a thing. Okay, you can't use it. I think she's going to declare herself High Priestess of all liquids. She will change her name to Neptunia. Yeah, she may as well say I'm in charge of all gases or States of matter. I was like, okay. How about chairs? Chairs are good.
Meeting, you can advocate for granting legal personhood to water. You can be like the residents of the city of Toledo and build from the grassroots and craft your own legislation if the politicians won't write it.
What's stopping you from doing that right now?
Because what you're saying is kind of crazy.
How about
Yeah.
actually calling up one of your municipal leaders or statesmen and say, hey, you know what? Our water sucks. What can we do about it?
Is
Um,
AOC is probably too insane for this batshit crazy shit.
I don't know.
Legal
Be
person,
on board.
legal person for oxygen when?
Yeah,
Oh
pretty
man,
much. Yeah, no, you need water and oxygen. There you go.
yeah. There's actually like That's So Scraven said, "Is my pee water? If so, can I give it to her? That's why
Marmalade have
she can keep the piss."
does marmalade have human rights?
Marmalade is a type of jam. There's three kinds of jam, or sorry, three kinds of preserving fruits. So
No, it was a never mind. It was a just forget it.
Oh man, Joe Crazy.
I speak for the seas.
I am the Lorax, and I speak for the seas.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oi, oi, oi. Okay, 1 minute left.
Recognizing legal personality of water. You can
Okay.
legal personality.
Personality? Wait a second. Legal personhood, yes. Personality, no. I don't even know what that is.
That's. I think she probably just misspoke. She can't have said
yeah.
something that stupid deliberately.
I think so, yeah. I think she's lost in her own illusion.
learn about the indigenous lands and waters that you now occupy and the indigenous legal systems that still govern them.
Okay, see, that's where we draw the line, because you have your own systems in place and other people have their own systems in place, and you don't start demanding that they crisscross or we join up our ethics. That's not going to go over too well with lawmakers on any level, just because most people are not indigenous. It's just basic governance. It's not going to work. And there's no proof that what you're saying is any value to India or Toledo or Lake Erie. I had no idea Lake Erie was, endangered or a person.
Thank you for lowering the value of your degrees by being what you are. And you're a shame because you could have done better. You could actually be doing something to help. But
She could have been fighting for water purity in her state on a state level. And she could have made the same speech talking about how she tried to do this and didn't work and why. And it'd be like, oh, wow, you're getting roadblocked from all these legal reasons. Why is that? And still have a spiritual slant, still have an informed idea of all the problems of water in the world, and say, wow, this is a legal problem we can't solve. How else can we solve this? And then show entrepreneurs solving this problem with technology, what have you. It's a very strange take that you can use spiritualism to motivate people to change the laws of the land so that water is protected differently. I want to know what that means. I still don't. Alex Halo, thanks again. Don't let her be Neptunia. She runs a nation. The character in my profile pic. Okay. She barely runs it herself. She just goes and annoys the other leaders. Oh, okay. Huh.
Audience, look at her. Like, the audience looks like your regular NPC crowd. They probably swallowed all her water. Oh my goodness.
I would have left the audience about 5 minutes into it. This is crazy. I can't say.
How are they not laughing at this? Because we're guffawing because this is ridiculous.
And most of all, you can connect to water. You can restore that connection. Go to the water closest to your home and find out why it is threatened. But most of all,
your water is under attack.
So we go to like a close by river and go, why is the river dirty? Is that it? Just ask questions why the water is not as clean as it used to be? I mean, we do that all the time, but okay. Why does it smell like chlorine today? Why is there dead fish in it, etc.? We do that all the time.
Well, if you do anything, I ask that you make a promise to yourself.
Okay.
That each day you will ask, what have I done for the water today?
Okay.
I speak for the water. I am the water Lorax. I speak for the water.
Davey said, what is she on right now? Steam?
Yeah.
How come every single time?
No, she doesn't look like a gamer.
Every single time we listen to one of these people, I don't want to do what they want me to do. I instinctively want to do the opposite. I don't know why, but
maybe that's why we got such a shit world.
I respect all the clean water and everything, but listening to her, I want to go, dump some toxic sludge into a lake or something now.
Well, you are the devil, so that's natural.
Yeah.
So gasp, and yet she sells her bathwater. I don't think she's that kind of girl. She doesn't seem that kind of.
She seems blindly idealistic.
I don't think she uses technology that way. I don't even think she knows how water gets purified.
Yeah.
Glib, please tell me you have the video ready after this.
Oh, are we gonna go over that? It's pretty.
I want to. How long is it? We don't have to pause it.
Wouldn't giving water legal personhood be underselling its value and not recognizing it for being water? I don't quite know, because I've never heard of this term before, and apparently it's a thing. So maybe it grants them more authority, but I don't know how.
Especially over one of the most polluted, disgusting rivers on the planet.
Yeah. It's strange. You
This,
see, Dunn, the reason they aren't laughing is because their brains temporarily shut down to save them. So I don't know. I really don't know.
No, see what it is it's just cardboard cutouts of people at the back of their heads. It's all just specifically for these camera angles. There's no people there.
Oh, Pogue.
All right, I got the link right here.
How long is it?
The Brain
16
Pain
minutes.
Olympics.
16 minutes. Yeah, we can just sit down and watch it for 16 minutes and laugh. We don't have
Everybody
to
will
pause
laugh
it and
at it.
critique it. Yeah.
It'll be good. Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah, let's finish this baby up.
If we are able to fulfill that promise, I believe we can create a bold and brilliant world where future generations are able to form the same relationship to water that we have been privileged to have.
I don't think water's a
Where
privilege. I
all
think it's a necessity. It's not a
a
privilege.
right.
Yeah. It's kind of a right.
Yeah.
Communities of
Important joke.
human and non-human relations have water to live because water is life.
If anyone claps, I'm gonna fucking shoot them.
Thank you.
Shrek is love.
People fucking clap, right? Those are gonna fucking die now.
All right, let's switch over to.
I think they're all asleep, and then it's over. I guess I should clap now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, finally.
I really hoped that the entire audience would just not clap. It's like, wait, what did she say? It's just a quiet audience, just kind of looking around at each other. It's like, what?
What?
All right. Here
What the
we
heck
go.
did I just watch?
Let's do the real TEDx. Next X.
Filmmaker from Brooklyn, New York. His work spans every continent and has been featured on television and in print. Discovery, Nat Geo,
This is
Vice,
the
and
upload
others.
that's from the original.
He recently
because-
returned from Mogadishu,
because
the
they
most
didn't.
dangerous city
I think they
on
took it
Earth,
down actually.
where he shadowed the heroic El Mahmoud women on their quest to clean up the streets and restore humanity to their war-torn country. I present to you Sam Hyde, 2070 Paradigm Shift. Sam.
What?
Water here.
Is this anybody?
Speaking of water.
Claiming that right there. All right. Some notes here. Did I just drop the mic back? Oh, good. Okay. Keep that on me.
Can you turn it up a little bit, slightly? Oh, it's up. Okay.
Give me like 25 seconds here.
All right, he's good.
I think it was just a mic.
He's taking the piss.
Give me like 10 more seconds. Can we turn this up a little bit so I don't have to like turn my head into it? Can you like? How about now? Test. Hey, there you go. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. You're doing a good job. Oh man. Okay. Can we reset the clock so I have another minute extra, please? Thank you. There we go. Okay. Hey, I wanted to start sitting down anyway. Guys, pat yourselves on the back right now. Okay, let's do it. Come on, everybody. I'm not gonna let you stop until I see everybody doing it. Let's pat ourselves on the back. There we go. You two, you're patting each other. That's cheating. You couldn't keep your hands off her, could you? Yeah. Hey, I don't blame you. She is a cutie. Hey guys, that pat on the back right there is for saving the world. I'm looking at young minds right now. You guys are all intelligent. I know that you did good in school. I didn't do that.
What?
You especially. You're very smart. Look at us. We're the machine that keeps the world going. Okay? I'd like to start this talk off with a parable, a story, if you will. I was at a college, a second tier, not an Ivy League school, a second choice school. And I was in a class, and there was a student in that class, okay? And the teacher, he was spouting some horrible nonsense about how it was something about how women's rights are not legitimate, something that everybody knew was false. But if anybody had spoken up, he would have taken extreme joy in failing them, okay? Nobody spoke up. One person raised his voice. One person started talking. The teacher couldn't believe it. The classroom couldn't believe it either. But in the end, he had logic on his side. And at the end of the day, he proved his point. That student was Albert Einstein.
Is that where that comes from?
That same
Is that where that name
sense
comes from?
He almost lost it right there.
What?
And that same sense of childlike play and innocence that we know from Albert Einstein, I can sense it in this room today. TEDx, Drexel University, next X. So you got to be thinking to yourselves right now, who's this 22-year-old kid up on stage with a chip on his shoulder and his heart on his sleeve and the world in his eyes? Well, that's a tough question, asking somebody to define who they are.
What is
I much
this?
prefer to ask, what inspires that person? What inspires you? What inspires you? What inspires you? I want an answer. What inspires you? You better find something, man.
Is he like
Don't worry
high
about
or
it.
something?
No,
He's doing this on purpose.
he's trolling the entire audience.
What inspires me is teaching African refugees how to program JavaScript. What inspires me is finding out how to use maglev trains to get resources to the moon.
What?
Resources
These
to
are
the
the
moon.
challenges that tomorrow's going to face.
What?
Okay. How are we going to get clean drinking water to 2 billion Chinese people?
I'm going to end apartheid.
You got an answer? Get inspired. I'm going to be picking on you. The second thing that inspires me are ideas. Ideas are amazing. Ideas are like currency. Ideas are what drives the world. Ideas are what we need to get to the next stage.
Is it before or
Not
after his
just
school
great
shooting?
inventions like the train, little things like this microphone that enables me to speak to the unwashed masses. TED Talks. TED Talks are another great idea. Where would we be right now? And we have to talk about it because great ideas don't come in all shapes and sizes. 9/11, September 11th. And we're going to use some reverence here and not be silly about this, but look at what they accomplished with no weapons and just 11 guys who didn't even speak English. And that proves that sometimes great ideas are actually horrible ideas. So, I'm Sam Hyde. I'm an important thinker. I'm a creator, innovator, artist, idea. But above all else, I'm a passionate, childlike innovator. I've been all around the globe.
The what?
Globe.
The Gerlobe.
The globe.
I've been all around the globe working on cutting-edge projects of all kinds. And I'm here to ask you one question. Where are we at? Where are we? We've got all this great technology. And we've got 7 billion people in the world. And according to UN projections, it's going to go up to 50 billion people. That's a lot of mouths to feed.
What?
And I don't think they're going to be able to feed themselves. Robots to
50
bridge
billion
that
people in the next 6 months.
gap.
Yeah.
The West's sick addiction to fossil fuel is going to make this planet uninhabitable.
What is this chart?
Graph chart that's on the screen.
You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie An Inconvenient Truth.
Oh, it must be true. He threw a graph up
Essentially
there.
what's going on is we're too selfish and we're driving our cars too much. And that's getting nature out of the picture. Now, we looked at the data. And what we found surprised us. What we found right there.
So
What we
essentially,
found
this
that
idiot
culture
is
is a
arguing
sewer.
for Thanos was right.
We've got lewd
No,
movies,
he's not an
we've got
idiot. He's being
nasty
a
bedroom things on TV.
That's
And
crazy.
they're
guys.
sexualizing young girls, and it's getting to the point where even I have a problem with it.
What?
It shouldn't be that way. Folks, we're all world citizens. We're all world citizens. There we go. We're all world citizens living together, one social contract, one economic future. We're all tied together. There's no more individual anymore. It's just the hive. We have to stick together. We have to stick together and learn how to share. We have to learn how to share. Now, studies show that we work hard. It's true. Everybody in this room is a hard worker. You're a
What?
hard worker. You're a hard worker. You're a hard worker. I know because you're here. Okay. But studies show that we don't play hard enough. We got to play harder. It's because it's that sense of childlike playing, and it's going to save us in the end. Albert Einstein.
Wait, what?
Hunger, poverty.
Albert
Run this right now.
What?
You control the slides. Get on the right slide. Go ahead. It's fine. There we go. Trash economy. Go back.
Trash
in
economy.
Rwanda. I was with a little startup you may have heard of, Tesla. Elon Musk was there. A team of innovators, artists, creators, ideas, thinkers.
In Rwanda?
They were there.
Listen,
In Rwanda,
They were
yeah.
giving
Listen.
iPads to this village of Africans, and it was so freaky because they're so intuitive. You just swipe it.
The people
and it
in the
works.
audience
But these
laughing, I
people
really hope they
2-hour
are.
tutorials, and they couldn't figure out how to use the freaking things. The problem is us. The people in this room right now. The solution is us. The problem is greedy corporations. We do things that matter. New York Times. I'll just skip ahead here. By my calculations, we have 5 years until the world ends. First things like pollution and war.
5 years.
Pollution, war. These are big problems. Fix it. Now.
Oh.
Close your eyes. Everybody in this room, close your eyes. I'm not going to do anything weird or sensual with you. Close your eyes. We're going to change some lines right now. Everybody close your eyes.
Sensual.
Okay, close them. Seal them up. Seal them up good. You, especially you. I want those eyes closed. Get on it. Make sure your friend has her eyes closed too. Now look, this is a pivotal moment in human history. Right now in this room, Drexel University.
Yeah, they know he's not
TEDx,
being serious.
TEDx.
They're smiling.
This is the time to be doing this. Take this
The
moment
time to
and
be doing
breathe
this.
deeply, okay? Neurons are firing in your brain right now. You're more alert. You're astrally projecting. You're getting a little bit high on the sound of my voice. I have an
Astrally
extra timbre
project.
to it. I know that I'm a good public speaker. You're drinking bulletproof coffee, and you don't even
Drinking
realize you're
bulletproof
getting all
coffee.
jagged up in the head listening to my presentation. You're going to remember this forever. 2070, future, now. What? 2070 predictions. The next 50 years are going to be some serious stuff. Seafloor farming. 75% of the world's surface not being used by agriculture. On the seafloor, you're going to have sea beets, sea yams, sea cabbage. Have you ever had a sea salad? Have you ever had cheesy baked potatoes that blew your socks off? Because you're going to be.
What the hell?
2070 coming up.
I want some sea
Trash
yams.
economy. The abundance of trash. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to put it on an island? Are we going to make it somebody else's problem? Or are we going to take the initiative and take this problem by the horns? Trash economy. You use cubes of trash.
This is like a joke. I mean, I know this is a joke, but this is basically the same argument all the those SJWs make, but but unironically though.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I love it so much, because it's every TEDx ever.
Vast pleasure domes.
Listen to
used
this.
exclusively by the Excelsiites.
Excelsiites.
They're the neo upper class.
Hordes of lower class depth grovelers will live underground in tiered cities, toiling away for nuggets of neoplasm.
Oh, the guy's got
nuggets of neoplasm.
Video games are going to get more realistic. Super fuel efficient vehicles getting 80, 100 miles per gallon. It's not that crazy. You think I'm nuts right now because I'm suggesting something high tech like that?
Just
Flip side of that
the
coin,
lady in the front is like,
gas,
no, I'm not.
$10 a gallon. You can't win them all, but we can make do because we're going to have solar power also. Race riots, extreme racial tension and unrest.
CMs, race riots.
And eventually, white people are going to get tired of playing it.
What? On the knockout game.
I'll skip that one. 2 minutes left. Okay. Playing games with me. Can we get the original 18 minutes back on here?
Wait, the 2 minutes from the end.
Caught me. I'm unprepared.
Oh, no,
now,
like, then fuck me. That's 12 minutes of going really fast.
Increase. We're going to have a shortage of milk. What that means is,
race riots. Einstein. Shortage of milk. CMs.
To lactate once a month.
You missed out the thing where men are going to be
going to a
lactating.
lactation processing center where they'll hook you up to all kinds of weird things. Now, due to some fluke, about 3% of the population produces milk, about 500% as much milk. So they're going to have to be farmed constantly. But they're going to be rounded up by 500%, and their milk will serve the greater good.
The greater good.
Guys,
people laughing their heads off in the audience.
It's not going to be around in 2070.
This is probably my favorite part.
The elderly and the disabled. Because we're just going to kill them.
He spikes the ball.
We're just going to kill them. So what's this data? We got robots policing the streets. 2070, we got gay marriage. Surprise, surprise, bigots, okay? Sorry, in 2070, gay people are going to be allowed to get married. Get used to it. Make me sick sometimes. SodaStream will do for soda what 3D printing did for assault rifles. And I think we're going to be seeing a whole lot more of these great Apple products. The iMac.
SodaStream?
You're probably thinking this is some pretty deep stuff, and you're right. State-enforced homosexuality. I don't have a problem with that. It's equal. Facebook as your birth certificate. Mac iPads built into every school desk for every child. 3D printers are kids' toys, and the newest 3D printer, your kid is going to be printing up 3D Muslim Barbie dolls.
Whoa.
2070, gay men have actually developed reproductive organs inside of their area, and a new generation of children are born inside gay men. What else we got here? Good luck searching for Al Qaeda on the internet in 2070. You'd have better luck going next door and asking them in person. What else we got
Whipster?
Here?
What?
I'm not gonna like that
Like a
one.
wigger hipster.
Oh.
Let's do this here. Can we get one final pat on the back, everybody? Pat yourselves on the back.
Pat yourselves on the back, everyone.
You are going to be the future. That's a good thing. You're going places, kid. You're going,
They're all doing it too.
Israel. Straight up ripped off the map. Bye! 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 Not my choices. What do you think's gonna happen?
I can't tell if they're crying or laughing.
You are the you plural is the star, like YouTube here, like the Time magazine cover. You guys are the star. I'm just some crazy guy. I'm not cool. What predictions do you have? 2070. Make a real one. Let's have something real here. You don't know that. I'm gonna have your mind uploaded.
Focus the
to my,
fucking
to
camera,
my,
you cretin.
BlackBerry.
You can have your mind uploaded to my BlackBerry.
You'll be cryogenically frozen. I know it.
Cryogenically.
What do you think is going to happen in 2070?
I think it's going to be better than what we have right now.
I think there can't possibly be anything worse than what we have right now.
You can realize it's getting better.
Hey, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me here. Where do we walk through here?
Right here.
That was amazing.
Okay.
2070 paradigm shift. That is amazing.
Oh.
That was no different from any of the other ones that we've seen. Okay.
Management wants you to know the difference between these two pictures. They're the same.
They're the same. We just watched two exact same speeches on TEDx. Okay, they're both exactly the same.
One of them is TEDx. One of them is TED Women.
Yeah, one of them is TEDx. One of them is TED Women.
We need the sea farming. That'll help the water. That lady. I think
basically a guy comes in. Someone comes in and just picks a topic and then points out stuff and with giving no solutions. And that was it. How we're bad people.
Evidence, not referencing anything we could look up at and analyze how they've come to that conclusion.
Step one, pick an obscure topic. Step two, just point things out surrounding that topic. And step three, tie that into how we're all bad people.
I want a TEDx talk on how to make TEDx talks.
So
that was it. That was it. We just watched it.
So to anybody that wanted to see more of that kind of that from that guy and his comedy troupe, it's $1 Million Extreme. That's Sam Hyde. And you can watch the Adult Swim show that they had on very briefly called MDE World Peace. Or I would check out on YouTube. They have a couple channels. There's a Hyde Wars channel where he uploads content right now. But I would check out the short that they did, Ideas Man, which is my favorite. If you want more of that, it's actual comedy. It's not like they go out there and do that. You know what I mean? It's a sketch comedy.
That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. State mandated homosexuality.
My favorite is the Excelsiites and the neo upper class and the underdwellers are going to have to scrounge for nuggets of neoplasm.
The Excelsiites.
Fantastic.
That actually stopped working, kinda.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that was enough for one evening for me.
You could just have Patrick Bateman say all that. It's fit right in.
Yeah.
What gets me excited is teaching JavaScript to underprivileged African kids.
The thing is,
Soulful hunger.
Well, Christian Bale hasn't aged in 10 years, so he probably could pull it off.
He kind of hasn't, yeah.
Anyway,
it's the fact he put so much shit on his face in the morning.
Yeah, the anti-aging eye balms and stuff.
If his face is a little saggy, he puts on some anti-age cream.
He probably do 2,000 crunches now.
Well, that was an amazing way to end out this stuff. I'm glad everybody that stuck around enjoyed it. Thank you for playing that. That was a good move, Shiny. Good choice.
All right.
The year is 2070. We're just gonna kill them off.
We're just gonna kill them.
all the sick and elderly. We're just gonna kill them.
Oh man, that was so funny.
So that was one of our, I'd say, not our strangest video, but definitely a lot different than our normal videos that we cover.
It was. What are you talking about? That's a typical TEDx talk, as far as I can. Well,
yeah.
If chat can find videos that we can go over that aren't necessarily videos that are bad, that are like some good, content that's on YouTube that we can break down that has to do with writing or art or anything like that, that I think that'd be helpful. Because some of these videos, it's hard to choose in the selection that we have because, you can only do sheep in the box so many times before you realize it's dumb.
No, there's a lot of videos that we have on our list, and it's starting to get lower and lower. And the ones that we kind of have now are either A, too long, or B, aren't really worth talking about.
We could always do a Brandon Sanderson stuff. He's an excellent writer, and he's got a lot of good stuff to say.
If you guys are looking to recommend something, I would highly recommend anything which we can actually have a discussion about and talk about. Not something which is just completely batshit crazy. Something with at least arguments and have a discussion.
Well, we had a discussion on this one. It was just discussion about weird stuff.
If anyone has any recommendation, please do leave them in the suggestions channel. That's the easiest way to share them with us. You can talk about them there. Other people will be happy to talk them with you. And we go through our own process as well. Some videos we end up voting on, we don't end up doing. So it's not just like, whatever. We will actually think about it before we do it. So this was, I wanted to do it just because it was different, and it ended up being rather entertaining. So you guys go crazy, go online, find some stuff that interests you, and maybe interests us. We never know. So thank you, John Lumley again. Cyberpunk, I had no idea. I know they're changing Malay around, but other than that, I don't. No idea what they've changed visually. But I'll be happy to find, like, if you have an article, there's an idea. Post it in suggestions. I'll be happy to read it, talk about it. And it's not just for me, but these guys can be inspired as well. I'm sure Morning Nonsense takes some content from chat. And Shiny's going to do some, what is that? What are we going to do, Shiny? You're going to cover some other video series, I think. So.
Wait, why? Sorry, I toned out for a second. What are you talking about?
Was there's a game you're going to play? Was it from the Peta, I think? You're going to play all the...
Something which I kind of... live streams. LiteratureDevil at some point, he wants to stream... was it Validate, that really weird progressive thing.
Yeah.
At some point on my channel, I want to stream the Peta parody games because they look really weird. We have Super Tofu Boy and all these other really bizarre games. Meat is Murder, Cooking Mama Kills Animals.
Right. Okay. Well, that sounds interesting, to say the least. So yeah, maybe you go ahead and do that.
I'm also working on a Lower Decks video right now.
Yay, Lower Decks! Yeah,
talking about Lower Decks, and then I think it was tomorrow. We're going to go over. We're going to watch Lower Decks episode 2, not live, but it's going to be edited and uploaded on my channel, and hopefully it's not going to be taken down again.
I'm dedicated to see it because I want to see the degradation of it, but man, I do not want to watch this whole season. I don't want to turn it into our Batwoman for EFAP. I know that's miserable, but I do want to say on behalf of LitDev and Smud and me, make sure that you guys tune into EFAP 100 because we're going to be on there at some point.
At some point.
Yeah, it's going to be August 22nd. Let me get the time.
August 22nd to August 24th, maybe? It's like a 30-hour stream.
It's going to be really, really long, and it starts at 2 p.m. BST. So everybody on British Standard Time, there you go. And we'll be on there and give Mahler a couple tokens. Or else we're just going to kill him. No. But yeah, thank you for showing up there. And by that time, I'm hoping to have my first real review video out. So if all goes according to plan, I'll see you then.
Well, thank you, C3PO, for that super chat. And yes, that was your best acting moment in the whole film, as ironic as it was.
Look, you're the coolest thing about C3PO is that, you're still alive. You made it. You didn't die. And R2-D2 saved all your memories. Okay, so we got you, buddy.
Mahler's gonna die of exhaustion at the end of the 30 hours.
I think he's doing it in. For what I've heard, he's doing it in like 3 10-hour.
Three segments of 10 hours. Yeah.
That last third segment is gonna be like 4 hours later because he's gonna fall. He's gonna take a nap.
I'm pretty sure that Mahler has developed some endurance from all the EFAPs he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a 24-hour EFAP at some point.
Yeah.
There's actually a few Maulers and clone, and he just watches.
He's like Wayun. Just kill this Mauler and activate his next clone. He'd be right as rain.
I can see Mauler now.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks for my cast for always tuning in as well, because I know some guys want to get away from these videos, but I'm glad we're entertained and you guys make it fun for everyone. It's what's this request of Glib?
I guess Justin wants me to say something. Hey, Justin, let me do 2 takes of this, okay? I want you to hit me as hard as you can. I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Well, I think I'll just hire Glib to be the voice of Dr. Alpha from now on.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be awesome.
Are you doing a voice acting version of it?
Well, I did once, and that was a little where where Shiny did the video, and I hired somebody to do the voice acting. I think Glib would do a lot better job, getting closer to what I want with Dr. Alpha.
Yeah, I can do the Brad Pitt from Fight Club thing. I love that character. I can embody. I'll try to embody that. But I basically told the guy, do Brad Pitt from Fight Club, but if he smoked a lot. Well, I'm a smoker, so
for
that
20
helps.
years.
The things you own end up owning you.
If you want me to lend my voice acting talents, I'm down.
Everybody
sounds
wants
good.
to get on it. Let's do it.
How about we have the Smudcast crew just voice over things? We have our own show, an animated show now. Technically, we already have that, don't we? We have the D&D animated.
Anybody that has voice acting stuff that they want to get like a really good guy. I'm not even the guy. The guy is Salad King on YouTube or on Discord. He's in the Mahler Discord. He has an incredible arrangement of like he can do a 1-to-1 McCree. Like he is really good at that. So I'm gonna be doing a lower decks Rick and Morty dub where we change it into Mariner.
That was
walks
my
around like
suggestion.
Rick. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So that's happening. I just have to finish my review in time.
Yeah.
But you're going to do a Lower Decks abridged series like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or
That's what I really
Dragon Ball
wanted to do. Just because there are so many things you could actually fit into, like Morty, the Federation, the bureaucracy. I don't respect them.
Yeah,
and then you can like change the things like the hoe and shovel to be something else, like alcohol, something that he's not supposed to give away.
It's going to be called Star Trek Lowest Decks or whatever.
Oh no! I think we
Lower
have different
expectations.
Yeah, lower expectations. I believe it
Yeah.
was. I'll have to check my notes because I did write that down.
Excellent.
Star Trek lower standards.
I gotta go out and do a couple things, but wow, is it great to hang out with you guys?
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in again, and we'll talk to you real soon. Have a great evening. Okay.